Tiger fans, Fox 2 Detroit is taking you in the dugout, on the field, and right up to the first pitch. It's the home of the Tigers pregame show, today on Fox 2 Detroit.
In 2 days, Prison Break begins a new chapter.
I want the money.
Now! And justice moves to its new night. Prime time is crime time on the new Fox Monday.
GM employees who are Buick owners can get this low-mileage lease on an 07 Rendezvous CX for around $179 a month. Call for details. Visit MetroDetroitBuickDealers.com.
Are you still trying to decide who to vote for governor? Hear me out. Dick DeVos. He's turned businesses around, created a lot of jobs, raised 4 kids. They turned out great. Some better than others. He's done a lot for our community, a leader all his life, and he's got an independent streak. Nobody pulls his chain. Almost nobody.
I heard that.
So, I'm Melissa DeVos, and I hope you'll vote for my dad.
We're more than just another health insurance company. Because 67 years ago, we made a commitment to the people of Michigan. A commitment that has never changed and never will. Because we believe that every man, woman, and child has a right to quality health care. Because we accept everyone, regardless of medical history, and we will never, ever drop you for health reasons. Because we're Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, a nonprofit since 1939. Because Michigan is our home.
Mike Cox, Marine, prosecutor, Michigan's tough-on-crime Attorney General. He's going after sexual predators who prey on children. Attorney General Cox's office leads the nation in arresting sexual predators. Mike Cox, the nation's toughest Attorney General on deadbeat parents. He's helped collect more than $26 million in unpaid child support for 40,000 Michigan kids. Call Attorney General Mike Cox. Thank him for fighting for Michigan families.
Introducing Points from National City, the best banking rewards program. It gives you points for paying your bills online. What you get with your points is pretty much up to you. Points from National City. Sign up today. Introducing Points from National City, the best banking rewards program. It gives you points for so many of the things you do every day. What you get with your points is pretty much up to you. Points from National City. Sign up today.
And welcome everybody to downtown Detroit. Behind me, the place where a magical season has happened this season. Who would have thunk it? The Detroit Tigers are in the World Series. Welcome to our pregame coverage here on Fox 2. We're going to be here for 3.5 hours, taking you up to our national coverage. We got plenty of stuff planned for you. We're right here on top of the roof at Hockeytown Cafe. And joining me also this afternoon is a face that many of you got to know and love this year, Rod Allen, the voice, the play-by-play analyst, and the color man that is for the Fox Sports broadcast. Man, you had to have just an unbelievable year.
Without question. This is what it's all about. This is what the guys go to spring training for on February 14th, a Valentine's Day. Many guys do go to spring training on that day, but it's just fabulous, fabulous time, and I'm awfully happy.
Yeah, I tell you, you saw it all this season. That's fantastic. You can see right now we have an aerial of Comerica Park. The game time is a long way away, but already downtown, this place is packed. There are people walking everywhere. Everybody is happy. There is more Tiger paraphernalia. I haven't even seen a Cardinal fan so far, Rod.
Well, they're going to have a tough time getting tickets. I was talking to one Cardinals fan, and that's exactly what they said. They said the Tigers fans have gotten all the tickets, and somehow, some way, they're going to be tough to get for Cardinals fans. But there's going to be a whole lot of red here. They travel well.
Yeah, if you got a ticket, it's almost like Christmas has arrived early here in Detroit, that's for sure. People are running around trying to get tickets. I have never seen a situation when tickets went on sale for the World Series. We had people in our office literally trying to get on the internet, in the computer, to be in line to get tickets. And we had a guy who got in, and I thought it was like the birth of his first child.
Well, he must have had to wait online quite a while because tickets are very, very tough to come by. But that's what happens when you get to the big dance. This has been a spectacular season, and Tigers fans are coming out all across the country.
All right, we've got amazing team coverage for you. Let's take you inside Comerica Park. That's where Jennifer Hammond and Woody Woodriffe are standing by.
Thanks very much, Al and Rod, and obviously it is a great day down here in Detroit. The fans will be coming in at about 4:30 when the gates open here at Comerica Park, but as Alan said, you can already feel the bustle downtown, Woody.
You know, I think Mother Nature is a Tigers fan because, as you can see right now, it's bright sun out here. I don't even know if it's going to have any rain come towards the end of the game as was forecast. If it could stay like this, I got to think that everything would go the Tigers' way because I'm picking them to sweep, Hammer. I'm not going to be shy about it.
No sugarcoating that.
None at all. I'm picking them to sweep this series and win the World Series.
All right, well, obviously Justin Verlander and Anthony Reyes, two rookie right-handers on the mound today, and it's going to be the first time in Game 1 of the World Series in Major League history that two rookies have started. What do you expect to see?
You know, it's a toss-up, really. I mean, I think in Justin Verlander's case, we can stop calling him a rookie. I mean, 17 wins in the regular season and a couple of starts in the postseason. I think he's past all the rookie jitters that you might see. But a guy like Anthony Reyes, who has pitched only once since October 1st, and that was in the American League Divisional Series. So who's going to know about that? You know, it's still a toss-up for me, Hammer.
All right, well, obviously Justin Verlander well-rested, Alan, 9 days rest. We're going to get you interviews from all of the players, our perspective inside here at the ballpark as the players come out for batting practice on the field, getting ready. We're setting you up for Game 1 of the World Series as the Detroit Tigers enter the Fall Classic for the 10th time in franchise history. For now, though, Alan and Rod, we're going to send it back over to you at Hockeytown.
All right, thank you very much. You know, it's an outstanding day. Early in the day, it's almost as if this is destiny because where I live at, it was raining all morning long, and here we are now just a couple of hours before game time, and it is absolutely gorgeous out here.
Well, it's kind of tough to pack. You got to layer up a little bit. You got to be prepared for it, and I'm prepared for it.
And you can also tell who makes the most money.
No.
You came sharp today. Check you out.
Well, that's what they make me put on every day. Why not? You may as well put a little effort into it.
All right, let's also get a check right now of our weather out here, and Wyatt Everhart is standing by for that. Wyatt?
Hey, Alan, yeah, I mean, I tell you, it is a nice scenario down here. A little sunshine has come out of the kind of electric atmosphere in downtown Detroit, but I think we will have some rain to deal with late overnight tonight. Let's show you a look at your first pitch forecast, give you kind of an idea of how this is going to play out for us weather-wise, and I think we have that graphic for you. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, we definitely have a clear radar sweep now, but you see there is more rain off to the west. You really can't see it now, but it'll be moving in overnight tonight. Let me show you the first pitch forecast. It's a cool night down here in Comerica Park. Patchy drizzle, yeah, maybe as we work toward those later innings, there will be the threat for a little bit of rain. I don't think it's going to be anything that'll wash us out, though. That changes as we move overnight into tomorrow morning. Big rainmaker moving through southeast Michigan, and that will mean, that we'll have to watch tomorrow night's game, and we're hoping this weather maker is going to move out in time so that sort of that magic window comes in after the last innings tonight, and as we go into the early part of the game tomorrow, the rain moves off to the east. It could be the perfect timing here, but there's going to be some rain over the weekend. Sunshine out now, looking good for the moment. Back to you, Al.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it very much, Wyatt. Well, we have team coverage, and right now let's go and throw things over to one of our craziest guys that works for us. Jason Carr is standing by somewhere out there amongst all the masses. Jason, how things going where you are?
Oh, it is just electric, Alan Lee. I want to show you right here. Look at this, the double wave, copyright 1987. This is hardcore, old school stuff right there. Jack Nicholson. We got Jack.
How you doing? Go Tigers. Go Tigers. I got a lot of time on my hands. The Lakers are sleeping, so I come out to see a winning team.
The stars indeed come out when it's Tiger time. I want your best roar on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey, Dan Miller and Dan Petry, I can see you guys from where I'm standing. Let's send it up to you.
All right, Jason, thank you very much. We appreciate that. We are back in our usual spot on the deck here at Chelly's Chili Bar, just across the street from Comerica Park. And I got here about 2 hours ago, Dan. And there were already people all over the streets. I mean, this is just a crazy scene, and it is fantastic.
It is, and I wasn't quite as early as you, but I was coming off of Jefferson, made the turn up Woodward, and I was the same way, just shocked to see how many people were already down here.
All right, let's talk about what these players are going through right now as they get set to go. Is there a palpable difference when you talk about going through the divisional series, the league championship series, and now when you're on the biggest stage of all, the World Series?
There definitely is a difference. I don't know, how great that really is, but there certainly is, especially after sitting off for a week. I mean, you and I are anxious to see a game today. Those guys are just chomping at the bit to play. So Verlander will go down, he'll take his warm-up pitches, but, until that first pitch actually comes around, his heart's going to be beaten, and those butterflies are going to be beaten pretty hard in his stomach.
Well, we talked before the divisional series when he was going to go up against the Yankees about some of the things that he might face with a lot of rest and having to be careful that ball's not coming in high, because a lot of times for a power pitcher, when he's got all the juices flowing, that ball comes in up a little bit. Same type of things he's got to think about today?
Absolutely, but since he's already been through that, he can call back on that and say, hey, you know what, I've already been through that in the biggest stage at New York, at Yankee Stadium there, so you know what, I've already learned from there. I already came out unscathed out of that game, so you know what, this is going to be the same way. Again, once that first pitch is over with, you just go into another game like it's just any other game since you've been playing Little League.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen over the next week in the World Series, but we do know this. It has been a fantastic ride to get to this point. Check it out.
Watching. That's it. Bases loaded. The curveball, strike three call. That ball is hit deep by Guillen. Way back there. That's into the gap. The Tigers have won it. Further throw. He struck it out. Strike three call. Tigers in 4.
Brandon in. Hits to the field by Rodriguez. The wall for the run scoring. Strike three called on the inside. Look at that. Gomez in a lineup has knocked in 4 runs tonight. Base hit into right center field. They get the force play at second. With a sore elbow. In the air, well hit by Monroe. Is it 3-0 Tigers? You betcha. That ball hammered into left field. It goes to the wall, and Granderson will score. In the air, left field. The Tigers march to the World Series. World Series champions, and October the 14th, 2006, the Detroit Tigers are American League champions.
And the big swing by Maglio Ordonez touched off a celebration. It ended the American League Championship Series, put the Tigers in the World Series, and that's where we are right now. I'm going to take that off the table. I'm not going to give you Maglio Ordonez's home run. Is there a moment besides that that has stood out for you that just will always remain in your mind about this run so far?
You know what? For me, it was just that Friday night game that Kenny Rogers came back. The series is tied 1-1. He comes back at Comerica, throws that magnificent game, 7 shutout innings, and really kind of turned that series and set it up for Jeremy Bonderman. So for a free agent signer and a 41-year-old pitcher, that stands out for me.
I've always said I think one of the greatest gifts that an athlete has, and you've been there, is that by throwing a baseball, a football, shooting a basketball, whatever it is, they can make millions of people smile in just a second. And Kenny Rogers, the way he pumped his fist and the things that he did, it wasn't just the game he pitched, it was the emotions that he showed that I think really brought everything out of every Tiger fan that's been waiting so long for this.
Absolutely. He fed off the crowd, and uncharacteristic of Kenny Rogers because he's the old grizzled veteran, doesn't show a lot of emotion, stays cool and calm, in every other game, gets in this big stage and just grabbing the ball and mouthing things and really at the top of his lungs and maybe even making the Yankees a little upset.
They will get a chance to do it again tomorrow night, but first things first, Game 1 coming up. You will see it right here on Fox 2. Tigers taking on the Cardinals. Justin Verlander, the rookie, matching up against another rookie, Anthony Reyes. We got a lot to talk about and a lot of time to do it. We are counting you down to what's going to be a great night in the city of Detroit, and you can follow it every step of the way on Fox 2.
Live coverage is brought to you by the Detroit Medical Center, home of the Detroit Tigers docks. Chevy drives the Motor City, and the new AT&T, your world delivered.
There she goes again. Debbie Stabenow attacking Mike Bouchard.
What'd you expect? She tried to raise taxes by trillions, was against making English the official language, voted for higher death taxes, and wanted to raise the retirement age for Social Security.
Kind of hard to defend.
Making the same promises she did 6 years ago, and hopes we're dumb enough to believe them.
Worked the first time.
What were we thinking?
What do you mean, we?
I'm Mike Bouchard, and I approve this message.
Fox 2 and HAP, working for the community.
Each year, thousands of people come down with the flu, especially seniors. If you're age 65 or older, doctors consider you to be high risk for getting very sick from the flu. HAP advises all seniors to get their flu shot every year. The flu vaccine is safe and cannot give you the flu. It can help you stay healthy, and it could even save your life.
Working for the community is brought to you by Fox 2 and HAP.
Why share Labatt Blue with friends? Because 150 years ago, a man came to settle a new land and raise 14 children, and built a brewery that would withstand fires, prohibition, and a kidnapping, and made a lager to be named by the fans of a legendary Canadian football team, win international awards, and become the world's best-selling Canadian beer. Why give your friends anything less? Cheers to friends, Labatt Blue.
If an apple a day keeps the doctor away, then my great deals keep the customers coming back. I think great deals are like Twinkies for the wallet. We encourage our customers to shop the competition because an informed shopper is our best customer. Of course, an uninformed shopper is welcome too.
ABC Warehouse. No Twinkies. Just the closest thing to wholesale.
Get a Sony Bravia 32-inch 720p LCD HD TV, just $14.97.
Look familiar? Scary, isn't it? This is your crawl space, the one place in your home you refuse to go. Now, there's a solution. Insta-Dry's crawl space system lowers humidity levels, stops mold, wood rot, and pests, making your entire home healthier. You'll even save up to 25% on your heating and cooling costs and add to the value of your home with our exclusive Clean Space system. Call Insta-Dry today at 877-INSTA-DRY.
Known best for being better.
Live coverage is brought to you by your Metro Detroit Ford dealers. Think Ford first. National City. We want to make banking simpler. And wall side windows. We can do that. We're the factory.
Well, if you are at home waiting to come on down, here's sort of a scene setter for you. You're looking at live pictures right now of Comerica Park and the surrounding area, and there is a lot of activity already going down here. It is a very festive mood. When you have two teams in a World Series that have storied pasts like the St. Louis Cardinals and the Detroit Tigers, it all becomes about fraternity. It becomes about players who have played the game for these organizations who have come back to see this team in the World Series. Specifically joining us right now, a guest from the 1968 team, John Warden. Thank you so much for being here. We're back again also with Rod Allen of Fox Sports. And buddy, what's it like to finally see this franchise in a position to be playing for a World Series?
Hey, man, 38 years since I was doing this down on the corner there at Tiger Stadium. This is awesome, man. I mean, it's so great for the city, and there's a little parallel. I mean, in 68, we had the riots of 67. We had Martin Luther King getting assassinated. Now the city's a little bit in the automotive industry's down, financially, a lot of people getting laid off. But the Tigers rally around and bring the city together.
Yeah, we talked about fraternity. How much of this is also fun for you to go around, to get phone calls, to see some of the guys you played with?
This is great. My cell phone's been going off, emails all over the place, people calling, how many tickets you got?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I said, I'm glad I got two for myself, man. I said, let alone anybody else. But it's just, everybody's happy for us. Rod knows the feeling from '84. Just to be a part of that, it's phenomenal. I was a rookie that year. I was a 21-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And for me to come up my first year from A-ball and make that team, and I tell you, it was just unbelievable, unbelievable.
Being a former pitcher, how impressed have you been with the young pitchers this year the Tigers have had? I'm talking about Verlander, Zamaya, even young guys like Minor, Bonderman, guys starting to mature. How impressed have you been with these young guys?
Well, I was real impressed, and I'm glad Jimmy Leland brought those guys to the big leagues, because I know a lot of people wanted to keep them down.
How do you get a guy like Jimmy Leland to get all these guys on the same page? Answer that question, too.
Well, I'll tell you what, Leland, Leland draws people, man, and Leland's a take-charge guy, and he wasn't going to let these guys stay in AAA. So if they're going to throw 150, 200 innings, they're going to throw them here in Detroit.
Waste them bullets up here.
Yeah, they're going to waste them bullets here, buddy. And Verlander proved it to him that he can pitch here, and they babied him, and they took care of him, and he's going to do the deal tonight. And then here comes Zamaya, and Willie Horton told me, he said, we had Zamaya at 105, 108 a couple times. In the minor league, we had to tone him down because the catcher couldn't catch it. But to get that group of kids and that much talent, and AAA Toledo won the league last year and the year before, Tigers are going to be reckoned with for a few years from now on, buddy. I'm telling you right now.
I do want to ask you this question. You mentioned you were 21 years old. Young guy on a team like that played in the World Series. When you have on this particular stage, and you got a young kid like Justin Verlander going tonight, how do the veterans get him prepared for today's game?
Well, I think a guy like Kenny Rogers, I think, has been instrumental, a veteran pitcher. It's just sort of, hey, relax, kid, throw strikes, it's just another game. Just go out there and look at it as he's got another start. Go as far as you can, because look out there in left center, you got a great bullpen behind you. So give us all you got, don't hold back. And I know, like Leland went to the, he went out there to the mound a few times in the playoffs. It's like, hey, give me a couple more outs, and I'll get you out of there. And ask him, like, are you okay? You're throwing 92 miles an hour. I wish I was all right throwing 92.
All right, well, John Warden, thank you so much for stopping by.
My pleasure, man.
Enjoy the series.
Oh, yeah. Rod,
right,
brother. Great, buddy.
Fantastic. Now, continuing our team coverage, let's check in with another member of our crew, Ron Savage. It looks like you're getting mobbed there, buddy.
Hey, the last time the Tigers won the World Series, 1968, was out here in Corktown. This is the history of Tiger Stadium. We're 2 blocks down from Tiger Stadium at Nemo's. It's been standing room only for hours here. I want you to meet Anthony. Anthony is here from Clinton Township. Anthony, how long did it take you to get your face done? About 45 minutes. Give me a good growl now, right in the camera. Growl. Ah! Ah! Yeah! Anthony is 3. His grandfather, how long did it take him to have his face painted? About an hour. All right. Now, the guy that's come the farthest is from Denver so far here in the bar. You're a Tiger fan living in Denver.
Absolutely. We flew in this morning.
All right, go Tigers. She is from, where are you from?
Sterling Heights.
Sterling Heights, not too far. You just flew in too.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, who's your Tiger here? Okay, you got number 15. Go with that. All right, and you're from Wyoming?
Laramie, Wyoming.
All right. There's quite a blend here. Toledo, Ohio, right here. And look at, we thought Jim Leland was going to be at the game, but Jim Leland's out here. Hey, Jim, nice job this year.
Thank you very much. We hope to do a better job this coming week and really show you what we're made out of.
All right.
I'll tell you that.
Jim Leland, what are you going to have, a hamburger before the game?
I already had mine.
All right, good deal.
I had it for breakfast.
Tigers going to win in 4, right? All right.
5.
Go Tigers. We're live in Corktown. Ron Savage, Fox 2 News. Dan, we'll send it to you.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. You know what? Here's the thing. It's only going to get crazier. I mean, we're sitting here. We still have 3+ hours before the game, and these folks are already fired up, which brings me to a question. You were there in '84. Do you have any idea as a ball player just how crazy it is outside the ballpark and in the surrounding city?
I think you have an idea a little bit. You know that the newspaper sections certainly are a lot bigger. All the coverage on television. And, the fans are excited. And let's face it, some of the guys that frequent some local establishments, watering holes, so that everybody's fired up. But, I think once you start thinking about the game, you kind of forget about, this that's going on. You see everybody out here 4 hours before the game and just concentrate on what you're doing.
Were you an athlete that read the newspapers?
I did.
Because some guys tell me, oh, I never read it. I never read anything you guys say. Or
well, you know,
like
that's
that.
a lie.
Yeah, that's what I said. Then they get mad at you when you say something.
No, and I did. But, you know, you also know that, boy, I stunk last night. You know what? I better not pick the paper up and if I don't want my feelings hurt.
Yeah, well, that's probably a pretty smart way to go. You learn as you get in the major leagues for a while. We're going to take a break and come right back. We are live on the deck at Chelly's Chili Bar just across the street from Comerica Park. We're at Hockeytown. We're at Nemo's. We are all over the city getting you set for Game 1 of the 2006 World Series. You will see every pitch of it right here on Fox 2. Stay with us.
To use myfoxdetroit.com, a whole page dedicated to your Tigers in the World Series. Now working for you on the web. myfoxdetroit.com.
Hammer, 16 points. Nails, 7 points. Sandpaper, 5 points. Tape measure, 8 points. Rope, $5. Pro drill set, 235 points. You are now eligible for a digital camera.
Introducing Charter One Rewards. Earn everyday points toward rewards by using your debit card. Redeemable for gift cards, merchandise, and special rates on banking products. Only at Charter One.
I live in a small town, and I work for a big company.
At Amway, we make hundreds of quality products.
And we never cut corners. Amway has always spent what it takes to be state-of-the-art.
The products.
The equipment.
The work environment.
It's all first class.
First class.
We're 13,000 employees with nearly half a century of experience.
We're a company of substance.
Of substance. It makes me proud.
Proud. I'm here to stay.
I
am Amway.
Jennifer Granholm personally opposes abortion. But Jennifer Granholm believes that this deeply personal and private decision should be made by a woman and her doctor, and not by politicians. Dick DeVos takes an extreme position. Dick DeVos wants to make almost all abortions a crime, even when a woman has been the victim of rape or incest. The difference is clear. It's time to take a stand.
So what's the deal? Oh, Comcast put internet, phone, and cable together in one package for just $33 each per month when you call this number and sign up for all three. No, what's the deal with our stunt doubles doing the hard sell? Comcast put high-speed internet, digital cable, and digital voice in one package for just $33 each per month for 1 year. 3 products, 1 bill, 1 price. All you have to do is call the number on your screen to order. It's an easy way to save a lot of money. So call it a day.
Get the Comcast Triple Play. $33 a month for high-speed internet that's faster than DSL, $33 a month for phone with unlimited local and long-distance calling, and $33 a month for digital cable with on-demand. A great deal when you subscribe to all 3 for a whole year. The Comcast Triple Play. It's Comcastic.
And welcome back to Comerica Park, getting set for Game 1 of the World Series, about 4 hours away from first pitch, Woody. And you look at this series, and it is the 3rd meeting between the Cardinals and the Tigers, but certainly a first for Jim Leland and his good pal Tony La Russa.
Yeah, it is a first for them, but, you know, everybody's talking about how this is a big friendly thing with Leland and La Russa and all that. You know what? Jim Leland's mindset is that he is all business right now, and I think his team is taking the same approach. They've had enough time for all the hoopla. They've had enough time to get everything settled, all the World Series hype, and now it's time to just cross the white lines and play some solid baseball. You're on the biggest stage there is. There's no time for friends or any of that kind of stuff, and I like that approach by Jim Leland.
Yeah, he is a no-nonsense manager, most certainly, born and bred right here in the Midwest with a lot of friends in Ohio, Perrysburg, Ohio. Bill Gallagher takes a look.
Perrysburg, Ohio is named for Commodore Oliver Hazard Perry, the American commander who won the Battle of Lake Erie and forced the British forces out of Ohio and Michigan during the War of 1812. It's a carefully designed city on the banks of the Maumee River, south of Toledo. Perrysburg is one of only 2 cities planned by the federal government. The other is Washington, D.C. Jim and Veronica Leland's 7 children grew up in this home on Indiana Street. Perrysburg is especially proud these days of one of the Leland kids, Jim, the man who managed the Tigers to the American League Championship.
Pretty exciting. There are definitely a lot of people in Perrysburg know some member of the Leland family, so it kind of hits home when they do really well.
How many Lelands do you know?
Oh, probably about 5.
Father Tom Leland, Jim's brother, is pastor of Perrysburg St. Rose of Lima Catholic Church. It's hard to find someone in town who doesn't know one of the Lelands.
I know Father Leland at St. Rose Parish and his Jim Leland's sister-in-law, who's a teacher there, and some of his nieces and nephews, Mike Leland, Tom Leland. There's a bunch of them.
When the Tigers made it to the World Series, it became a banner day in Perrysburg.
They won, and my wife and the rest of the crowd at home are great fans, and we also do a lot of artwork and banners, and the group of us designed this banner up and thought it'd be nice to put on in town here.
Very proud moment for Perrysburg.
Very proud moment for Perrysburg and Detroit and the Tigers.
And Jim Leland.
And Jim Leland. He done a great job.
This quaint little city in Ohio is now inextricably linked to the World Series through a favorite son.
It's kind of nice to have a hometown person that we can follow. I think most of the people are just excited about the Tigers coming back and having a successful season.
And Leland's an added bonus.
Well, I think so, yeah. I think they expected him to do well, and he's done well.
Jim Leland still often visits his hometown. He certainly hasn't forgotten where he comes from, and folks here appreciate his loyalty.
But the whole town, his family, part of his family still lives here, and, you know, just a lot of excitement. We don't have too many things like that happening in town.
Very proud, I think.
Oh, yeah, great guy.
Yeah, I mean,
very friendly. Nice guy.
Nice guy Jim Leland has finished first many times. Maybe one more time for the Tigers, Detroit, and Perrysburg, Ohio. Bill Gallagher, Fox 2 News.
All right, thanks, Bill. Maybe a little divine intervention coming from the Leland family.
I'm thinking about Perrysburg as a vacation spot. Why not? Let's head on down there. Let's go after the series. There's bound to be a parade there as well.
All right, before we go to Perrysburg, we're going to go up to the eye in the sky. Jackie Page, high above Comerica Park and Sky Fox. It looks like a beautiful view from up there, Jackie. That's all I know.
It is a spectacular view, Jennifer, and you know, it is really bright out here, but I do have something that will help me see a little bit better. There we go. All right, let's take a look at the freeways. We'll show you what's going on out there. Well, first of all, we're looking at Comerica Park. You can see they haven't let the crowd in as of yet. Everything clean and green. We do have a nice crowd, though, standing outside the stadium. Of course, those folks that are have those standing room only seats are probably already lined up out there. But we have not seen any heavy traffic as of yet heading into the city. You are looking at the Fisher Freeway. Folks heading north and southbounders. Northbounders on the left portion of your screen, southbounders on the right. And look at that. Not a lot of traffic at all. We do have some traffic, though, on the Service Drive and also on Brush Street. But in terms of parking, there is still plenty available, not only outside of Tiger Stadium, but also at Ford Field. Also, it looks like all of the People Mover locations, looks like still plenty of parking available. So if you're headed downtown now, you might want to, in fact, get in your car right now and head downtown because optimum parking still available. Right now, we're going to keep you track of the parking situation, but we're going to throw it to the man, one of the men that I see every single morning when I wake up. That's Alan Lee. Hey, Alan.
Hey, Jackie, I appreciate it very much. And hey, if you're at home and you want one of these souvenirs or something to remember the World Series by, why not pick you up some Tiger beer? Hey, Rod? Huh?
Absolutely, absolutely.
As you can tell, all 6 are still here, so Rod and I have not indulged, but I understand these are being sold at stores around the area, so pick these up. We'll have much more World Series Game 1 coverage for you right here on Fox 2. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Fast is now affordable. With AT&T Yahoo high-speed internet, it's the fastest internet in Detroit for the price, as low as $14.99 a month. And with 4 speeds to choose from, AT&T always gives you the best speed for its price. This is the internet you've been waiting for. Go online for our best deals. The new AT&T. Your world. Delivered.
From Tony Award winners Billy Joel and Twyla Tharp comes Movin' Out, Time Magazine's #1 Broadway musical of the year. It's the story of 5 lifelong friends told over 2 turbulent decades to the sound of 24 Billy Joel classics. And now, after 3 sensational years on Broadway, Movin' Out is moving into your town for a special limited engagement.
November 1st through the 19th at the Fisher Theater. Get tickets now.
Are you ready for a world of challenge? A world of possibilities? A world of ambiguity and adventure? Are you a person of purpose, patriotism, professionalism, with curiosity and integrity? Are you ready to make a world of difference? Be a part of the National Clandestine Service at the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA. The work of a nation, the center of intelligence.
To an innocent child, the internet opens the door to a world of wonders. To a child predator, the internet opens doors that can put our children at risk. Attorney General Mike Cox and his special online unit work to catch internet predators before they harm our children. A national leader in protecting children, Attorney General Mike Cox has arrested over 100 internet sexual predators, protecting our children, prosecuting child predators. Attorney General Mike Cox.
There she goes again. Debbie Stabenow attacking Mike Bouchard.
What'd you expect? She tried to raise taxes by trillions, was against making English the official language, voted for higher death taxes, and wanted to raise the retirement age for Social Security.
Kind of hard to defend.
Making the same promises she did 6 years ago, and hopes we're dumb enough to believe them.
Worked the first time.
What were we thinking?
What do you mean, we?
I'm Mike Bouchard, and I approve this message.
From Sky Fox, you are looking live at a picture of Comerica Park, and believe me, while the park may not look too lively at this point on the inside, on the outside, folks are in the streets and ready to roll. And there, around the infield, you see some of the media members that are down there. The players will begin to file out here shortly, and batting practice will come up. And how about that? World Series 06 right there on the grass at Comerica Park. Who would have ever thought that we would see that there this year? Well, the Tigers are in. They're ready to roll. Game 1 against the Cardinals coming up tonight. Dan Petry, what does it say? We hear so much about momentum that we're about to watch a World Series unfold between the two teams that struggled the mightiest of the 8 that were in the playoffs.
Yeah, down the stretch, too. You know, the last 50 games, I think St. Louis was 22-28, and you got 19-31 for the Tigers. So they went about it almost the same way, you know, finishing the end of the season, the Tigers on a 5-game losing streak, and St. Louis tried to do everything they could to throw that division away. Yeah. So they certainly are the best teams standing now.
Well, from here at Shelley's, let's go inside Comerica Park to the media room where Jim Leland, Tigers manager, is addressing the media live right now.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, Dave, how are you?
All right. That 97 team, when you brought in Dalton, it seemed like he had a presence in the clubhouse that I don't know if it was lacking before, whatever, but this team didn't seem like you had to do that. It seemed like these guys had a different kind of camaraderie. Is that correct, or is it?
Yeah, I think so in one sense, but I think the biggest thing that we always forget is we brought Dalton in because he was a good player, not really to babysit the clubhouse. I mean, what went with him was part of that, yes. But for the same reason that we got Rogers and Jones and Casey, we think they're good players. And that's the main reason that you pick people up or you try to acquire somebody at the right time. And I don't think you're trying to upgrade the chemistry in your clubhouse. You're trying to upgrade your team on the field. And I think Dalton obviously did that, and the guys that we picked up this year have done a good job at that.
Popping out. Yeah,
In the center rear?
I mean, it's
Jim,
way down in
over the course of the year, the team that scores first generally wins the ball game more often than not. Does that become even more important here in the World Series on this stage?
No, I don't really know. I never really emphasize that because I think you set yourself up for disaster when you talk about stuff like that. It's kind of like goals. I've never been a guy that told my team in spring training we have some goals to try to reach, because I think at some point you realize you can't reach them, and you got a lot of problems. So, I mean, I'd hate to think if we get behind 1-0 or 2-0 tonight that the game's over. I wouldn't want my players saying, "Oh my God, the manager said the team that scores first always wins." So, I think it's probably a fact. It's probably a statistic in baseball that there's a lot of truth to. I guess it's been proven, but hopefully we're going to play 9 innings and 9 tough innings, and whoever scores first won't necessarily win the game.
Who else? Mark, over here.
Who's DHing tonight?
Sean Casey is DHing tonight, possibly tomorrow, and he will, unless something goes wrong these next 2 days, he will play first base in St. Louis on Tuesday night. So everything looks okay, and he will play first on Tuesday. Like I said, unless, you're never sure with the cold weather, it's going to be a little uncomfortable for everybody, I think, the next 2 days. And tomorrow, I guess, doesn't look very good at all. So unless something would happen in the next 2 days, though, he'll be the first baseman Tuesday night.
What else is there for Jim? Tom?
Jim, in '97 with the Marlins, you had talked to your team, I think, during the playoffs about the impact of, how you felt Muhammad Ali was an inspirational figure for you. And I think you may have talked about it to your players again this year, maybe during the playoffs. Why is that? What is so special about him to you?
Well, I'd rather save that for after the series.
Okay.
If things go right,
okay,
I'll tell you. If they don't go right, I'll tell you anyway. But
One or two more? Anything else for Jim? Okay, Dan, back there.
All right, Jim Leyland addressing the media right there inside of Comerica Park, and back out here at Chelly's Chili Bar just across the street. We are certainly going to be interested in how he handles this team emotionally, and we will talk about that. But Sean Casey at DH, your thoughts on that? Any surprises there?
I'm glad, for one, that he's healthy. He's such a big part of that clubhouse. He's a fan favorite, so that's going to give him a little extra boost, but it certainly means a lot, especially when you go to the National League City. It doesn't have that much of a changeup. You could move Carlos Guillen back to shortstop, especially with the pitcher hitting.
Yep, Tigers will go with that lineup tonight. We will get the rest of the lineup coming up in just a bit. The Cardinals as well. Talk about inspiration. They mentioned Muhammad Ali being a big inspiration to Jim Leyland. What could be more inspiring than bagpipes, Dan Petry?
I heard him coming up, and I just love it every time. And this is a festive occasion. Usually you see him at a funeral, so this is a great time to see him.
Well, the rendition is taking out the good stuff. And all the fans all around Comerica Park having a great time. And as we said, if you're just joining us, they have been out here for a couple of hours now, and they will be out here all night long. Even if they don't have a ticket, they just want to be here. They just want to feel what this is like to have a World Series game back in Detroit. And it's happening all over the city. Out at Nemo's, Ron Savage is standing by, and I know there's a party there. Ron, I saw it earlier. I imagine it's only going to get crazier.
Dan and Dan, we're just one block from the old Tiger Stadium. Nemo's here. This is the overflow tent outside. Dan Miller, you were talking about people that didn't have tickets. This is Harley from Monroe. You can't get in, but you wanted to just be part of the atmosphere.
Oh, you got to come down to be a part of this. I mean, there's none of us thought we'd be here this October. It's fantastic. We're all having a great time. Go Tigers!
Hey, Harley, I found one St. Louis Cardinal fan. Here's one Cardinal fan, and
Cardinal fan, there we go.
You're living in California now. You think the Cardinals are going to win it?
I hope so. But these guys think Detroit's going to win
Now,
it.
your girlfriend's a Tiger fan. How do you make this romance work?
Well, we do sleep in separate bedrooms.
Okay, that's what we'll do. Hey, listen, the last time we were out here winning a World Series, 1984 at the old Tiger Stadium, 1 block away, and Murray Feldman was on the street after the Tigers won it all. All right, Murray had such a good time. He's still recovering from the '84 World Series. All right, this is what it looks like at Nemo's. Go Tigers. Now here's a guy that's got his ticket. You got your ticket. Are you a season ticket holder?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, you got to hold that when you walk around here.
Yeah, I'm going to stuff it in my pocket here. So.
All right, how much would it cost us to get that ticket from around your neck?
I can't say. It might get confiscated.
All right, good deal. Some are going to the game, some are going to watch it here. We'll have some fun. Go Tigers. Hey, Alan, we'll send it back up to you.
All right, thank you very much, Rod. And we're here with Rod Allen once again at Fox Sports. You know, we just heard from Jim Leland. You followed this team, obviously, all season long. Everybody's pointing to him as being the most significant difference. Your perspective on that and how much he has meant to this ball club.
Well, he has been the straw that stirs the drink as far as I'm concerned. When you get this many different personalities to follow you the way that he has had these guys follow them, when you get Pudge Rodriguez or Ordonez, you bring up the young players, you add veteran leadership, and you get them all on the same page, you get them all rowing in the same direction, guys that have run through a wall for you, you're going to get these types of accomplishments. David Dombrowski deserves a lot of credit as well. He has put a lot of these bodies together before Leland got here, but Leland's the same guy that got it together for Dombrowski in '97, doing it once again. And in my 29 years of professional baseball, it is one of the most spectacular jobs that I've ever seen, without question, by a manager.
I still keep thinking I'm in a dream, and I'm going to wake up tomorrow and go,
There's no dream.
But it's here. The Tigers are in the World Series, and Game 1 happens tonight. And you're watching Fox 2. We'll be right back with much more. Stay with us.
Chet Lemon has it. For the Tigers, Lemon turns in some sweet glove work and a clutch time.
Whether you spend your workday making stock trades, making presentations, or making cookies, you're a Gardner White employee. Or at least you can save like one during our employee discount sale. This weekend, you pay exactly what our employees pay, not a penny more. Get our best living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, all at the absolute best employee discount. You get everything at the lowest prices ever offered to the general public. Save even more with no sales tax and free financing until 2009. This weekend, everyone gets our biggest savings at Gardner White's employee discount sale.
How to speak politician.
And in 5 years, you're going to be blown away.
That's politician for don't look at the last 4 years. How to speak more politician.
We are thrilled about how this economic plan is working.
That's politician for it's not working, and we're still losing jobs.
We're only getting started, my friends.
That's politician for I haven't gotten it done.
Dick DeVos has supported NAFTA, an agreement that sent tens of thousands of our jobs to Mexico. He invested over $200 million in China, building a factory to create thousands of jobs there. Now we find out Dick DeVos incorporated his company in Bermuda, perhaps to avoid paying U.S. taxes. So where do you suppose Dick DeVos thinks the governor's office should be? The Cayman Islands?
Maura Corrigan. As Chief Justice on Michigan's Supreme Court, Maura Corrigan led the way to improve our foster care system. Now Michigan is a model for the nation, and more kids are moving into permanent homes faster. Justice Maura Corrigan. She ordered state courts to work with local child protection agencies to find runaways. Nearly 75% of runaways from the foster care system were found. Call Justice Corrigan today and thank her for protecting Michigan children.
I needed money to expand my business. The bank said no. I called 1-800-EASY-LOANS and they said yes.
The bank didn't understand my business, but 1-800-EASY-LOANS did.
When your bank says no, 1-800-EASY-LOANS says yes. Call 1-800-EASY-LOANS today and get the cash you need to build your dreams.
Thanks, 1-800-EASY-LOANS, for making my dreams come true.
Thanks, 1-800-EASY-LOANS.
That's 1-800-EASY-LOANS.
Live coverage is brought to you by your Metro Detroit Ford dealers. Think Ford first. National City, we want to make banking simpler. And wall-side windows, we can do that. We're the factory.
Welcome back, and we are now live, as we have been all day, of course, on top of Hockey Town. I'm joined now by Larry Pasnick. We're just looking at some old Tigers footage there. You pitched for the Tigers, 82, 83. You missed the big year there in 84, but it's still exciting to see the Tigers back in action here in the World Series the night before Game 1.
It's absolutely phenomenal. Being born and raised here in the area, lived and grew up in Wyandotte and played a little time here, and just to see the city become electric and alive again, and all the pleasure that's going on. The fans have just been great. The team has just handled it phenomenally, and just looking for an exciting series and bring home the trophy.
Okay, well, you know, I've got to ask you as a former pitcher, because you pitched in all the different kinds of weather. It's back in 82, 83. You know, it's going to be a chilly night out there. We got Verlander on the mound. What are your thoughts? It's going to be maybe upper 40s as we go to the game, low 40s, maybe some drizzle by the end of the game. What do you think? How's that affect the pitching?
Once they get out there and get warmed up and start the game and the adrenaline starts flowing, it shouldn't be that much of a factor at all. Some of the people sitting on the bench, it might take them a little bit longer to get loose if they make some changes. But with a game of this size and this magnitude, when the adrenaline starts flowing and the crowd starts rocking, they won't even know that it's 30 or 40 degrees out there.
Well, I tell you, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Adrenaline will keep you warm out there. Well, hey, thanks so much for joining us up here, and we'll see how the Game 1 turns out, won't we? And I also want to show you our Game 1 first pitch forecast, because I tell you, the weather right now is gorgeous here in downtown Detroit. We've got the sun out momentarily at least, but cool, cloudy weather. Our story later tonight, and I do think that by the 8th, 9th inning, especially if this game goes late, we will see perhaps some patchy drizzle. Now, overnight, you're going to be out late partying. You're going out after the game. Watch out, because I do think some rain will be moving in our direction, even though the radar is all clear now. That could change overnight tonight, and I'm hoping that weather maker will get out of here in time for Game 2 tomorrow night. All right, we've got another former Tiger here with me, and Barbaro Garby, you were an outfielder in 1984. You played in the last World Series that the Tigers won. Talk about your thoughts about Game 1 tonight here in Detroit.
Well, you know, I think the Tigers have the best thing in the league, and I don't think they're going to have any problem to put up in the series. The pitching will be good. Verlander is a rookie who has a great year, and I think he will be very effective tonight.
And one more thing, Barbaro, in the outfield, if the weather gets chilly out there, if we end up getting some rain maybe to start the game tomorrow night, with your adrenaline and the World Series atmosphere, how does that factor in? Does it factor in at all for you?
I don't think so. You know, as soon as they start the game, if they call out because of the rain, you know, the momentum is still there. You know, the atmosphere is going to be the same, and the player is going to be they're going to have the same approach.
You're going to win no matter what.
No matter what.
All right, Barbaro Garby, world champion from 1984 on the Detroit Tigers. Thanks for joining us up here on the top group. Yeah, go Tigers. And speaking of go Tigers, Jen Hammond, you're a little closer to the action than even I am down there inside of Comerica Park. Jen.
Absolutely, Wyatt, and they're just getting set up for batting practice. The Tigers should be out in about 45 minutes or so. You know, typically it's peanuts and Cracker Jack that are synonymous with baseball, but this season, starter Nate Robertson and a lot of his fellow pitchers have made gum the big craze. Dina Centofanti takes a closer look.
I'm Dina Centofanti, and I am ready to blow one enormous bubble. The question is, does all this bubble gum actually help on the baseball field?
Fly ball hit well into right center field. This ball is tagged. Bernie Williams going back, still going back. It's off the wall, one hop.
The latest gum chewing craze was ignited by Tigers pitcher Nate Robertson, who shoved an entire pack of Big League Chew into his mouth during a Tigers-Yankees game back in June. The Tigers were down by 5. Until that moment, he seemed to start a rally.
And Big League Chew scores another.
Whether it's gum, sunflower seeds, or tobacco, baseball players often seem to have their jaws full.
Usually it's some sort of a habit, and most typically it's some sort of a stress reduction technique. You know, it's the excitement of the moment. They're in the game. It tends to be something that allows them to kind of burn off some nervous energy.
Wrigley's will tell you chewing gum might help you concentrate, focus, and relieve stress. Could that be true?
There have been a number of studies that have come out that have looked at the potential benefits of gum chewing, and those include things like improving memory, improving test taking in kids, and even the thought that it might improve some concentration. However, the research isn't really compelling to suggest that that's a definite relationship.
So no firm science yet, but that's okay, says sports medicine Dr. Scott Ethorn. The Tigers shouldn't change a thing.
Sure beats chewing tobacco.
Working for your health, I'm Dina Santafanti.
And the Tigers have gone through an awful lot of big league chew this season to keep them rolling along. Hey, take a look at this. I have one of the 1968 World Series tickets when the Cards and Tigers met last, courtesy of our friend Bill Eisner, the Tigers photographer. Much more coming up from Comerica Park on Fox 2 as we get you set for Game 1 of the World Series. Detroit taking on St. Louis coming up tonight right here on Fox 2. Stay with us.
Alan Trammell. 2 home runs and 4 RBIs for Alan Trammell, one of the biggest of the Detroit Wheels.
In honor of our Tigers, Wallside, your other home team, hits a grand slam. Every 6th Wallside window, free. Buy 10, get 2, free. And when you place your order during this historic week, Wallside will give you an extra 10% right off your bill. Plus no interest for 2 years and no down payment. Now when it comes to saving on energy bills, you can hit one right out of the park. Call Wallside today, 1-800-521-7800.
Fox 2 and HAP, working for the community.
Each year, thousands of people come down with the flu, especially seniors. If you're age 65 or older, doctors consider you to be high risk for getting very sick from the flu. HAP advises all seniors to get their flu shot every year. The flu vaccine is safe and cannot give you the flu. It can help you stay healthy, and it could even save your life.
Working for the community is brought to you by Fox 2 and HAP.
At National City, we want to make banking simple. When your banking is simplified, you have more time to do what you really want. So, what's not to like?
I live in a small town, and I work for a big company.
At Amway, we make hundreds of quality products.
And we never cut corners. Amway has always spent what it takes to be state-of-the-art.
The products,
The equipment,
the work environment,
it's all first class.
first class.
We're 13,000 employees with nearly half a century of experience.
We're a company of substance.
Of substance. It makes me proud.
Proud.
I'm here to stay.
I
am Amway.
If you love toppings and the convenience of Little Caesars hot and ready pizza, then you'll love Little Caesars 3-meat treat. A large, tasty pizza topped with pepperoni, Italian sausage, and bacon for just $8. No need to call ahead. Little Caesars 3-meat treat is now hot and ready every day from 4 till 8. Topping lovers, meet your new pizza.
Pizza, pizza.
How about that?
A lot of celebrating going on back in 1968 and, of course, in 1984. Let's hope that it happens once again in 2006. Let's show you what it looks like heading into the stadium so far. We are over the Fisher Freeway, and we're looking at the exit to Grand River right now. Our northbound I-75 is on the right portion of your screen. Traffic is starting to back up on that exit to Grand River, and of course, folks are taking the service drive trying to head over to parking near the ballpark. Now, there is still parking available at the ballpark, but the Tiger Garage, the Comerica Park Garage, that is full. We do still have the premium parking available outside the park itself. Looks like some of those municipal lots are starting to fill up as well, but again, you can take the people mover. You can park outside of Tiger Stadium and, of course, take the shuttle over to the to Comerica Park. You can also park in Eastern Market, take the shuttle over to Comerica Park if you are headed down here. The freeways themselves, no construction, nothing to get in your way. We're actually in great shape so far. Reporting live in Skyfox, I'm Jackie Page. Now we're going to head back down to Chelly's Chili, where Dan Miller is live.
All right, Jackie, thank you very much as folks try to navigate their way in. Now, here's the question. In '84, did you have any of the women dancing on convertibles and bikinis?
I don't remember that, and neither do I remember those.
You wouldn't forget
it. Exactly, or the hairdos.
Exactly right. Well, those were the 60s, the late 60s, 1968, the championship year, and, of course, 1984 as well, and the Tigers trying to add yet another one, trying to add one in 2006. It has already been a memorable year, and we don't even know what's going to unfold over the next 7 or 8 days. Let's take a look back at some of the moments that have made this just a fantastic time to be a baseball fan in Detroit.
In the air, left field. Who's your Tiger? Stand up in the Motor City, 'cause it's Detroit Tiger time. Go Tigers! They're going for the pennant and World Series, and they're gonna win. Detroit Tigers. The winning feeling is in the air, because the Detroit Tigers are the champions. So tell me who's your Tiger, 'cause it's Detroit Tiger time. Home runs, great pitching and runs batted in. The Tiger feeling is in the air, so everybody stand up, let them know we care. So tell me who's your Tiger, 'cause it's Detroit Tiger time. Because it's Detroit Tiger time. Because it's Detroit Tiger time. Because it's Detroit Tiger time.
That's right, it's our time to keep your hands on the wood and your eyes on the ball. Whether it's daytime or it's after dark, get behind them at Comerica Park.
The Tiger feeling is in the air, so stand up, we care. So tell me who's your Tiger, 'cause it's Detroit Tiger time. Because it's Detroit Tiger time. Because it's Detroit Tiger time. Because it's Detroit Tiger time. Who's your Tiger?
The Detroit Tigers are American League champions.
Another reason to use MyFoxDetroit.com, a whole page dedicated to your Tigers in the World Series. Now working for you on the web. MyFoxDetroit.com.
Jennifer Granholm hasn't done the job she said she was going to do when she was elected 4 years ago. Made a lot of campaign promises, but I don't feel that they've been delivered on at all.
I just cannot take the chance on having her not come through again.
I think that it's time for a change, and I think that a new governor is what we need right now.
Good try, and thank you, but it's time to move on.
These days, car insurance ads are everywhere. In fact, they've become hard. Hey, hello. Hey. They've become hard to avoid.
Call today and save, save, save.
But Progressive Direct can cut through all that noise by comparing itself to other big-name companies side by side in 20 different categories, including rates. So now you can go one place online and see how they really stack up. Think easier. Think Progressive.
So what's the deal? Oh, Comcast put internet, phone, and cable together in one package for just $33 each per month when you call this number and sign up for all three.
No, what's the deal with our stunt doubles doing the hard sell?
Comcast put high-speed internet, digital cable,
digital voice. In one package for just $33 each per month for 1 year. 3 products, 1 bill, 1 price. All you have to do is call the number on your screen to order. It's an easy way to save a lot of money. So call today.
Get the Comcast Triple Play. $33 a month for high-speed internet that's faster than DSL, $33 a month for phone with unlimited local and long-distance calling, and $33 a month for digital cable with on-demand. A great deal when you subscribe to all 3 for a whole year. The Comcast Triple Play. It's Comcastic.
Skyfox looking down on the field at Comerica Park, and you see along the outside of the field, along the dirt track there, you have all the members of the media waiting for the players to come out, and they will chat with the players before the game. And it's really one of the things that makes baseball different from other sports, and that you get that opportunity to get up close and personal and talk to guys before the games. You really can't do that in the NBA or the NHL or the NFL, but it's one of the things that makes baseball such a great sport to cover. Good afternoon, everybody, and an early good evening to you as well. I'm Dan Miller along with Dan Petry. I hope you've been with us. If you haven't been, we are counting you down to Game 1 of the World Series coming up, and it is back in Detroit for the first time in 22 years. And Dan Petry, you being a man's man, I know you can appreciate this. This is the perfect World Series for every man and woman out there who enjoys a good time, because you've got pizza against beer. You've got the Illich Empire against Anheuser-Busch.
You know, 2 old, heartland of America cities, 2 river cities, and if I might say, 2 of the best logos in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, no question. You know what? And it's the tradition. It's the unchanged tradition over all the years that makes those things special. And I think that's one of the things that makes baseball so great, is in many respects, only the players change. Some of the teams don't, the logos don't, the uniforms might a little bit, but you can look at the uniforms and see the same things that maybe you saw back in the 30s and 40s.
Absolutely, and that's what makes it so special. Why everybody here, it's down here, they've got the Old English D, on their chest. They've got it, their baseball hats, and again, just the Cardinal logo. I just want to know which one wins out, though, beer or pizza.
Well, in my opinion, you got to have both. But I don't think they're going to let them tie at the end of this thing.
Pit and pizza, that's right.
You got to have both in this thing, so it's all in the equation. And let me say this, the burgers here at Chelly's Chili right across the street from Comerica Park, A1. And this isn't just work. This isn't just fun. This isn't just covering baseball. This is torture, because Peaches and I are sitting right here. Right below us, there's about an 8-foot grill and a guy that's just been cooking up burgers for the last 2 hours, and we've been sitting here. At 7:30 when we sign off and hand it over to the network, he and I are going to race out that door, down the steps and out, and I'm going to grab some burgers, some chicken, and everything else, because I'm salivating up here.
And we haven't had the opportunity to do that.
No.
We've had this has been our perch for the last 2 series, and it would be great to get down and actually sample a little bit.
It's a great place to be, and we can look out over all the folks having a good time back there, and people lined up at the gates and ready to go in, and now starting to file into Comerica Park as they get ready for Game 1. Those that are lucky enough to have a ticket. Well, from here at Chelly's, we can go across the street to Hockeytown. I can look out there and see Alan Lee, who is standing by with Rod Allen as well. What's happening over there, guys?
All right, hey, Dan, I can feel your pain, man. Right here on top of Hockeytown Cafe, we got a guy who's grilling over here, too, and it smells unbelievable. I'm here with Rod Allen. Murray Feldman has also stepped in here. Rod, of course, many of you have heard all season long those wonderful calls that he made from this ball club being wonderful. Just a tremendous year at Comerica Park and on the road. And, man, I got to tell you what, this is exciting stuff. Give me some sense as to what these players have been going through for the last 6 days.
Well, it's been incredible, really, because one of the things that they've gone from the team that was supposed to lose
to all of a sudden the team that's now supposed to win. But make no mistake about it, Jim Leland has gotten all 25 guys in that clubhouse to believe that, you know what, we're still the underdogs. We have not won anything yet. We've still got 4 more huge wins to get, but no doubt they've been waiting for this day, because 6 days can seem like an eternity when you're getting ready to realize a dream. It also allowed them to get healthy. Oh, absolutely. I mean, in the question of guys like Casey getting healthy, Zumaya getting healthy, you don't hear about a lot of guys like when Rose got a bad knee, Carlos bad back, hamstring. Several guys are a little banged up, and it allowed these guys to get a little healthier. All right, now I know you got to go soon, but I'm going to keep you here for just a few more minutes because we're going to talk to you a little bit later. Right now, let's throw it inside Comerica Park. That's where Jennifer Hammond is standing by. Jennifer?
Thanks, Alan. And, of course, things are starting to heat up in here. The fans are in. The gates are open. The Tigers about 30 minutes away from batting practice. Todd Jones came out. I don't know if you can barely see him. He was the first player out, sacrificial lamb. He's right in the middle of a media scrum there. Jason Grilli is coming out, and everybody is demanding these players and their time today as we get set for Game 1 of the World Series. All of the fans looking on as well with their cameras, with their blankets, and with a whole lot of Tigers blue and orange. Everybody has something that has an Old English D on it because, as you guys know, this city was hungry for a baseball winner. First World Series game in 22 years. Getting set. First pitch right around 8:19. Of course, we're going to set the table for you. We're going to have live player interviews, all sorts of stuff going on today as we get ready for Justin Verlander to take the hill going up against Anthony Reyes. And, of course, the most important thing, the Tigers lineups. Sean Casey today is the designated hitter, and playing first base once again will be Carlos Guillen, and at shortstop Ramon Santiago. And everybody's wanting to know what the Tigers are going to do as far as pitching around, pitching to Albert Pujols. He has had a lot of success against the Tigers. He batted .500 against Detroit when they came here for 3 games earlier this summer. Much more to cover from a baseball perspective, but with a great fan vantage point is our Jason Carr. He is outside of Comerica Park getting ready as the fans start to come in and some of them stay out. Jason, what's up?
Hammer time. I'm here with the fans. We have the World Series hat here from 1984. Look at that. That is an oldie but a goodie. This is my favorite story. The backwards D. He put it on in the mirror. He was so tired that he forgot he had to do it the other way. So he's got a backwards Old English D on his face. Man, I love it. I love it. Cinderella. It's a Cinderella story. Is it magic?
It's magic.
It's magic, baby. Super Tiger.
Yeah! Go Tigers! Let's beat up them Cardinals, baby! Yeah!
You got married! Yeah, buddy! That's what I'm talking about. Here we go, Tigers! Here we go! Here we go, Tigers! Here we go! Alan Lee, take it away!
Okay.
Here we go, Tigers! Here we go!
Where?
Here we go!
It's crazy. And I tell you, if you think you got a wild scene wherever else in this ball club, we're right here at the Hockey Town Cafe. There are people behind us. This place is a sea. It's crazy. We got Ethan Orlensky here from Major League Baseball with a whole bunch of authentic stuff. And, buddy, I'm telling you, this is Christmas in Detroit right now.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's great to see this excitement.
You know, Rod, your family's here, too.
Right.
How much of this stuff are you picking up, man?
Well, I'm going to have to get a lot of it. You know, I had to get some extra tickets, and I had to pay for some plane tickets and whatnot. But it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and they should get a chance to experience it, just like I'm getting a chance to experience it.
You know, when you were a ball player, how much of this stuff did you get?
You know, I didn't get a whole lot of it, but I got like some choice stuff. I got balls.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I got a ball from every team that I was on because that was the most important thing.
Yeah.
A ball with all the guys' signatures on it. And that was pretty much it. A couple of hats with the World Series logo. That's it.
Well,
I didn't have that long paper like you.
Yeah, right. Ethan, how do you know when you're getting authentic merchandise here?
We try to make it as easy as possible. So the first thing you look for any product is the Major League Baseball hologram. All the licensed product has to have the hologram on it. And we do other things for the products because counterfeiters try to rip that off. So there are other things to look for, like the licensee identification. New Era makes all the official hats, and we put our logo here. But if you find that hologram, it's likely to be licensed.
How much money, you guys tabulate, how much money do you guys make from a World Series in merchandise?
Well, I certainly can't tell you what the counterfeiters are making because they don't share that information with us.
Why you want to get in that man's business?
That's Major League Baseball. I want to open the books. I want to know.
It's all about the fans. We're trying to get the right stuff in the fans' hands.
I don't think I'm going to answer here. Do you think? It's, you know, but the good thing about this, when you look at it, you're talking about a World Series, it's taken 22 years to get back here. So this is something that really you want to hold on to. You look at the long haul, it's a value.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a memento, right? When you buy a T-shirt, you want to buy the real thing because you want it to fit 22 years from now. You buy this, it may not fit you after one washing.
Well, you see, you still got stuff that probably fits 22 years.
Well, you know what? I try to break even when I go to the gym. I got that businessman's workout. I got a newspaper, get on that little treadmill, just try to read and go slow enough to break a sweat and also get some information.
All right, Rob, we got to say goodbye to you, but I do want your prediction. How many games, and I know you're going to pick the Tigers, how many games is it going to take?
I'm going to go 5 games. I got a tremendous amount of respect for St. Louis and Tony La Russa and what they do, but I really like the Tigers.
All right, Ron Allen, buddy, appreciate your time. Thanks for stopping by.
All right.
You can leave all that wonderful merchandise with me, sir, and keep the Major League Baseball a little bit of a profit. I'll be just fine. Thanks for stopping by. Much more ahead as you continue our Fox 2 coverage. Game 1 of the World Series just a few hours away. The weather is beautiful.
Live coverage is brought to you by the Detroit Medical Center, home of the Detroit Tigers docks. Chevy drives the Motor City, and the new AT&T, your world delivered.
Mike Cox, Marine, prosecutor, Michigan's tough-on-crime Attorney General. He's going after sexual predators who prey on children. Attorney General Cox's office leads the nation in arresting sexual predators. Mike Cox, the nation's toughest Attorney General on deadbeat parents. He's helped collect more than $26 million in unpaid child support for 40,000 Michigan kids. Call Attorney General Mike Cox. Thank him for fighting for Michigan families.
Employees who are Buick owners can get a low-mileage lease on an 07 Lucerne CX for just $259 per month. Call for details. Visit MetroDetroitBuickDealers.com.
Dick DeVos has supported NAFTA, an agreement that sent tens of thousands of our jobs to Mexico. He invested over $200 million in China, building a factory to create thousands of jobs there. Now we find out Dick DeVos incorporated his company in Bermuda, perhaps to avoid paying U.S. taxes. So where do you suppose Dick DeVos thinks the governor's office should be? The Cayman Islands?
Thousands of people from all walks of life want to keep Michigan's 100-year tradition of protecting mourning doves. Why? Because there's no good reason to shoot doves. They're not overpopulated, they're not harmful to people or property, and doves are so small, they're not shot for food. Out-of-state extremists want to take away our traditions and allow the shooting of doves for target practice. But mourning doves are songbirds, not game birds. Shooting them for target practice is cruel and unnecessary. Vote no on Proposal 3. Vote no on shooting doves.
Outside of this town, most people don't know we make the stuff we sell.
Here at Amway, we make the best health and beauty products, and people all over the world buy them.
We grow our own plants on our own certified organic farms. And we produce world-class vitamin, mineral, and dietary supplements.
We make one of the world's largest selling prestige brands of skincare and cosmetics.
Amway is a leader in nutrition science.
And a leader in skincare.
I
am Amway.
Live coverage is brought to you by your Metro Detroit Ford dealers. Think Ford first. National City. We want to make banking simpler. And wall-side windows. We can do that. We're the factory.
Hey, when Peaches puts out the call for friends, we find them. From the 84 team, Tom Brookins. From the 87 team, Mike Hammond. And Dan Petry's been with us all along. You guys, this has got to be fantastic, because not only do you get to see a lot of old friends, you're still in the organization as a manager at Oneonta, but you got to take such pride in this organization the way they've come back.
No doubt about it. To get the Tigers back into playoffs,
It's been too long, but that's enough said about that. We're on the right track, and seeing Leland back there also, it's been good, although I kind of miss Tram being here too.
Well, no question about it. It'll be nice to see Tram tomorrow night coming out there and getting the round of applause that he deserves. Mike, a lot of emotions for you, I'm sure, when you come back here and you get a chance to see this city alive like this. It's crazy and it's great.
No doubt about it. The city is just electric right now. I got in yesterday, and you know, people on the plane and in the hotel was just going crazy. And this is just electrifying. It's great for the city, and it's great for the organization.
You know what, Henny, you came all the way up from Texas, you know, and I think it speaks volumes for, you know, how you feel about the city, how you feel about that Old English D. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, you know, the Tigers were my organization. You know, they drafted me and stayed with me through the ups and downs and everything like that. And what more in the world could you ask for? I mean, I wouldn't miss this for the world. I'm going to stay up for the whole week. I hope it don't go 6 or 7, but I'd like to see them celebrate our own turf. So I'm very excited about it, and I know that the guys are just pumped.
You know, Brookie, so much has been made about Jim Leland this year, too, you know, and we both had an opportunity to play for him in AAA, and I know he meant the world to me. You know, how much has he meant to you, and what has he done for the organization in the minor leagues so far?
Well, I got called up in 1979 like you did, and Leland was our manager in Evansville, so he had a lot to do with me getting to the big leagues. So, but he's a player's manager. He seems like he's always been that. Guys have a lot of heart when they play for him, but he's turned it around. There's no question about that. He's been able to push the right buttons and get the guys to perform for him, and the new mix of players has just been wonderful.
When you think back on '84, we were talking about this before. These are the moments these players will never forget. I would imagine 20 years from now, 22 for you guys, the things that happened, those moments are just as fresh as they were the day they happened.
You know what's interesting is it's really not the World Series. It's getting here and winning the World Series. It means everything, but it's the whole season, you know, put together from day one till the last day of the year till the end of the World Series. It's the whole ride that the players end up setting back in a year from now, and they'll go, wow, did that really happen?
And it's the good times, too, because I know when you talk about this, Mike, we've talked about it. '87, great times, but bitter disappointment as well.
That was very bitter. I mean, in fact, we ended up winning 98 ball games that year, and we felt like we had a legitimate chance of getting the World Series. It just happened. We hit a very red-hot Minnesota Twins team, and it was very disappointing. But all in all, the ride there, like Brookie was saying, you'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. It's neat.
Mike Edelman, great to have you back. I know you're proud, Tom Brookers, to be part of this organization. Enjoy it. You guys have earned it. I know it's been a comeback trail, and a lot of people deserve a lot of credit for this. So enjoy it. Great to have you guys here. Great to see the smile on his face when he sees you guys as well. We'll send it over to Ron Savage, who's having some fun with the fans out there, having a great time. What's up, Ron?
Hey, guys, we're at Nemo's right near Tiger Stadium. Standing room only outside. Okay, now, my World Series broadcast assistant is Chrissy. You're going to take the jugs gun here because we got a guy throwing some heat. Okay. All right, get ready. This is Brendan. Come on up, Brendan. We're going to watch Brendan's pitch. They lost that ball, didn't they? All right. Tigers! How fast is that, Chrissy?
I would say yours is about 60.
Okay, Maglio Ordonez is here. Come on, here we go. All right, hey Max, you might be in the bullpen today. You used to pitching?
Yeah, no problem. I'll give it to him. All right. Oh! Take your base!
All right, hey, let's let Max take one. Go ahead, Max. Throw one down there. Here you go. You ready? Some people are going to the game. Some people can't make it, but we're having a good time here in the meantime. Hey, Alan, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Ron. Boy, I tell you what, there are so many people. It's starting to filter down here. Murray Feldman joins us now, our money man. You look at the biggest bonus, perhaps, of this is not only Detroit's on a world stage right now, but the economic impact for Detroit's got to be phenomenal.
It's unbelievable, Alan. First of all of the images that the whole world is seeing of our city are great. You can't even put a dollar figure on that. But just take a look around at this crowd right here behind me. Look at what everybody is wearing. Look at the little guy. Look at all of this stuff. Everybody here, statistics tell us, have spent probably $100, Alan.
Wow.
On memorabilia, on merchandise like that. Okay, you guys. Nice going. And thank you for what you've done to the economy.
That's a good director, Murray.
$5.7 million today just from this game will circulate in the economy because of the pictures you saw there, because of all of our new friends that we made here, because of the people who are wearing the wonderful things that we're wearing. And not only that, but each one of those dollars will roll over, Alan, 2 to 3 times in our economy. You know, we really could use something like that now. It'll take 9 to 18 months for those dollars to roll over. So that means next year this time, theoretically, according to the economists that I talk to all the time, we're still going to be feeling the bump from this wonderful game. And that's just from this game.
Wow.
Every game, $5.7 million to $6 million in our local economy.
I understand you're going to make more money in the World Series than you did in the Super Bowl.
That's right, because, of course, there are more games. There are more parties and homes. There are more days. We're hoping there are going to be a lot of days, and we're going to be doing this next weekend, too.
All right, Murray, go have some fun.
Hey, I'm going to have some fun. You're having a good time. Thanks for having me on this.
I think you're going to go have a little bit more fun.
Yeah, I'm going to go have one for you, Alan. And in the meantime, let me just say, go Tigers.
I appreciate that, Murray. We'll be right back.
You'll
Our
enjoy it,
coverage
Alan.
continues. Look at that right behind me. There it is, Comerica Park, Game 1 tonight. The Tigers taking on the Cardinals, and the crowd is starting to make its way down here in downtown Detroit.
Wiggins is out.
I know, he thought he didn't get him, but he did get him.
Well, in your mind, you got him.
Absolutely.
At your Dodge dealer, it's all about the best in American and German engineering and design. And now, during the 2006 model year-end clearance, get 0% financing for 60 months on 2006 Grand Caravan with stow-and-go seating and storage and a 5-star government crash test rating. Or get 0 for 60 on Durango with the best interior room in its class. So hurry into your Dodge dealer today. Now, well-qualified returning Daimler Chrysler employee lessees can get a low-mileage lease on a select 2006 Durango SLT for $129 a month.
Jennifer Granholm personally opposes abortion. But Jennifer Granholm believes that this deeply personal and private decision should be made by a woman and her doctor, and not by politicians. Dick DeVos takes an extreme position. Dick DeVos wants to make almost all abortions a crime, even when a woman has been the victim of rape or incest. The difference is clear. It's time to take a stand.
One new steak sandwich from Subway restaurants is good, really good. But if one new steak sandwich is good, then 2 is better. Presenting the new steak and cheese sub and the new black and Cajun steak sub. But you know, if 2 steak sandwiches are good, then 4 are like amazing. It's the 4 or more value deal. Just $2.99 per regular 6-inch sub when you order 4 or more all day. The 4 or more value deal for a limited time at all Detroit area Subway restaurants. Subway, eat fresh.
There she goes again. Debbie Stabenow attacking Mike Bouchard.
What'd you expect? She tried to raise taxes by trillions, was against making English the official language, voted for higher death taxes, and wanted to raise the retirement age for Social Security.
Kind of hard to defend.
Making the same promises she did 6 years ago, and hopes we're dumb enough to believe them.
Worked the first time.
What were we thinking?
What do you mean, we?
I'm Mike Bouchard, and I approve this message.
Saab was founded by 16 aircraft engineers, and their spirit lives on in the 97X, Saab's first SUV. Once you've built jets, you don't build just another SUV. Saab, born from jets. Land a great lease on a Saab 97X 4.2i SUV.
All right, and we are back at Comerica Park, right across the street from us. We're at Hockeytown Cafe on the rooftop, and there you see some of the crazed fans who are here waiting for Game 1 of the World Series. It is an absolutely wild time here. Wyatt Everhart, our meteorologist, here, and I'm telling you what. I think you did. I don't think he has much comment right now, though. You know, earlier today, we had a lot of rain, and I thought it was going to be doomed, but, I mean, the skies have opened up.
almost as if the weather's favoring the Tigers here all the way out. And I mean, this is what we like to see. The sun is out at the moment. That will change, though. And by the way, sun setting about quarter of the night, so we will kind of crazy here on top of Ogden. Let's show you the forecast. Right. As we go into the night, I think we're going to see the clouds kind of blowing back in. Right now, radar is all clear. That's what we like to see for the first pitch forecast. And I think the big thing is going to be temperature tonight. You're coming out to the game. You're coming out to hang out downtown. 50 or so for that first pitch, but we're going to drop temperature-wise through the night. Once that sun goes down, it'll be a little chilly out here. In fact, overnight, looking for 40s. I think we're going to see some rain in here through the early morning tomorrow. Want to get that out of here by the first pitch tomorrow night. Right now, it looks pretty favorable for that to happen.
All right, you having a good time?
It's a good time up here. Everybody up here is like in the wild mode right now, let me tell you. So it's a good time. It's a good time to be up here.
We're in the safety zone right now.
We've got a little buffer here. That's the key.
All right, let's send it back down to Robin Schwartz. Robin?
Here in the Fox 2 studio. Thanks, Alan. All of those fans headed downtown tonight mean a bigger police presence and extra security. Detroit Police Chief Ella Bully Cummings tells Fox 2 her department has a game plan and plenty of help to uphold the law amid all the excitement.
We have a whole host of law enforcement partners that we have always worked with and that are stepping up and providing us resources, because we all know that not one agency has sufficient resources, but pulled together we can accomplish a whole lot more and provide a greater level of public safety for the visitors here.
And the chief also says Detroit has plenty of experience handling major events like the World Series, after the Super Bowl back in February, and of course the All-Star Game. While some fans are spending hundreds, even thousands of dollars for a seat inside Comerica Park, others say they have found the perfect view for a lot less. These fans say they have discovered a pretty good vantage point from a nearby parking garage. They can't see home plate, but they say you cannot beat the price. It's only about $35 to park there. And don't forget, it's all Tigers all the time on our website, myfoxdetroit.com. That's where you can relive last week's victory over the A's and the last time the Tigers beat the Cardinals at the World Series back in 1968. Plus, check out highlights, blogs, and even talk some trash with Cardinals fans in cyberspace. It's all just a mouse click away on myfoxdetroit.com. And of course, it's just a few hours before game time. Still a lot of ground to cover out there. Let's go back to Dan Miller and Dan Petry live at Shelley's.
All right, Robin, thanks. So Peaches and I are up here. We're looking for that parking garage. We figure must be that one over there, which I would imagine gives you a nice vantage point of right field. I don't know how much of left field you can see. You might want to bring a TV with you if you decide to go that route. But you know what? It is all about getting a chance to just feel this history. It's all about just getting a chance to be a part of this, and there's only so many tickets to go around.
Absolutely, and they said $35. That's not too bad. And it reminds me a little bit of like Wrigley Field, where they've got the stands set up on the adjoining parking lot, or I mean the rooftops of the apartments across the street.
If you're wondering, from here, we get a great vantage point of the fans down in the street and everything happening over at Comerica Park. And the whole left field line, the stands, we can see them there. So when we're watching, or we're over there, or we're down here watching on TV, we see something happen, and then everybody in left field stands up and cheers. So I don't think it matters where you are. If you don't have a ticket, it's just about feeling the electricity of what's going on here. And what's going on is a World Series, first time in 22 years. Got a chance to talk to a couple of Dan's former teammates just a moment ago, and Tom Brookins and Mike Henneman. Coming up, we're going to talk to Dave Rozema as well, and also to Larry Herndon, a couple of guys that were there in '84. We'll get their take on some memories and also what's happening right here, right now, and that's a chance at another world championship for the Detroit Tigers. We will take a break, come right back, stay with us. We're counting down Game 1 of the World Series coming up on Fox 2.
Are you still trying to decide who to vote for governor? Hear me out. Dick DeVos. He's turned businesses around, created a lot of jobs, raised 4 kids. They turned out great. Some better than others. He's done a lot for our community, a leader all his life, and he's got an independent streak. Nobody pulls his chain. Almost nobody.
I heard that.
So I'm Melissa DeVos, and I hope you'll vote for my dad.
Fast is now affordable.
with AT&T Yahoo high-speed internet. It's the fastest internet in Detroit for the price, as low as $14.99 a month. And with 4 speeds to choose from, AT&T always gives you the best speed for its price. This is the internet you've been waiting for. Go online for our best deals. The new AT&T, your world, delivered.
If you took a bite of every pizza in the world, #1 would be Buscemi's.
People have been known to come 100 miles or more
just for the pizza at Buscemi's.
It's got to be the greatest to do all that traveling for.
Try a slice of pizza at Buscemi's. If you took a bite of every pizza in the world, #1 would be Buscemi's.
The triumphs are not in research alone, nor in the hands of a single doctor, but rather in the rewards realized from working together. That's the Michigan difference.
Whether you spend your workday making stock trades, making presentations, or making cookies, you're a Gardner White employee. Or at least you can save like one during our employee discount sale. This weekend, you pay exactly what our employees pay, not a penny more. Get our best living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, all at the absolute best employee discount. You get everything at the lowest prices ever offered to the general public. Save even more with no sales tax and free financing until 2009. This weekend, everyone gets our biggest savings at Gardner White's employee discount sale.
Something like this doesn't happen just by accident. It takes a team effort to get the Tigers to where they are. And joining us right now is Chris Ilitch, president of Ilitch Holdings. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
The family has got to be just euphoric over this season, because I know in the darkest of days you had to hear all the jokes, you had to hear all the bad things about the Tigers, and here you are, some very wise, simple moves, and all of a sudden you're the talk of not only the town, but of the baseball world.
Yeah, no doubt, Alan. You know, I'd say my father more than anybody. He's an owner, but boy, is he a fan, and he wants to win as bad as all of us fans want to win. So you're right. He took it tough, and our whole family took it tough, and we couldn't be more proud of these guys and happy for the fans.
You know, speaking of your dad, we've been joking a little bit because we remember watching games, the final game of the American League Championship Series, and there's your dad pretty much in his owner's box, you know, sweating it out. And when that home run came, just like, you know, you can just see it all coming out.
Right. No doubt. It was a big release for him. And, you know, I think it was so fitting that he immediately went and gave my mother that big bear hug. And, you know, the two of them, it's, you know, they've been married for over 50-some years, and it was perfect that they had a chance to celebrate that moment right then and there. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Are you surprised that it happened this quickly? I mean, you have to be.
Yeah, you know, in fact, I asked, I get together with our team president, Dave Dombrowski, you know, fairly often. And about midway through the season, when the team was really catching fire, I said, Dave, you sandbagger, you were holding out on me. You didn't tell me we were going to be this good. And he says, Chris, he says, I didn't even know we were going to be this good. It's, you know, all the players are there, the statistics are what they are, but the chemistry. And this group of guys is a real special group, and the chemistry is just phenomenal, and it's really elevated the level of performance.
Yeah, you know, you talked about that. From the veteran of Kenny Rogers on down to younger guys like Curtis Granderson, this is a collection of quality individuals.
There's no doubt. I mean, you look at the free agents we brought in, and Kenny Rogers and Todd Jones. You look at the rookies that have come through, like Curtis Granderson and Verlander and Zumaya. And then you look at some of the guys that had rebound years that were injured last year, like Pudge. You know, he was a little banged up. Maglio, Carlos Guillen was a little banged up. And it truly is a real lovable group of guys that have definitely come together.
You know the worst part about this? You know the question's going to come. What are you going to do for us next year?
Yeah, right. Well, I'll tell you, there's It's going to be tough to match this level of excitement because this is the first time we've been, to this type of a stage in baseball. And but having said that, we do have a good young nucleus on this team and hopefully a very bright future. So we'll see.
All right, well, we want to say for all the people out there in Detroit, thanks. Enjoy the series. And you know what else? Enjoy the parade.
I don't know. Thanks, Alan.
All right, Chris Dillons, thank you so much. Let's turn things over now to Dan Miller. Dan, what do you got for us?
We got plenty. We got some more members of the 84 team over here to see Dan Petry, Dave Rozema, Larry Herndon, both in the house. And not that you ever have a bad time. Whenever I see you, you're having a good time. But this has got to be great.
Tell you what, Guy Willie and I have a great time every day I'm alive, big boy. Seeing this down here right now, 2006, these Tigers, just totally just amazes me. It's good to see everybody up here. Detroit's partying. We're having a great time. I hope they can do it.
You know what came to mind as soon as they said Larry Herndon's here too is he caught the last out. And that's got to be something that you always have in your back pocket no matter what. Whenever they show the celebration scene, you're the man with the baseball in his hand.
Well, I tell you, that was a great time. It looks fast on TV, or it looks fast when you see it, but it was just the slowest time I could just see ring and championship. It was a wonderful time.
You know, and I never get tired of seeing that too, as many times as they replay that. But you know, Dan Miller's been making fun of my hitting all this, you know.
1 for 5 lifetime, 1 for 5.
I know you're the hitting coach in Lakeland now.
Right.
You know, how come you can't do anything with my hitting?
Well, you know, what I remember was he good swing, no power, but a good swing.
Typical pitcher. Typical pitcher. Kicker button good though.
You know what though? It's fun seeing you guys back together, and I know you're together often, but it's one of those things where that's a bond that will never be broken, and I'm sure it's that way whenever you play together. But when you do something like you guys have done and you have those rings that say you're champions, it goes a little deeper, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, because you know we know each other for a long time. When you spend 6, 7, 8 months together and then you experience something like a championship to the playoffs, bond this every day, taking showers every day. They go, hey man, you're like a brother, you know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, you're getting something like this right here, and you get closer and closer, then you win something, and it's not unforgettable.
Yeah. Let's see, you got your ring on?
I got it on,
your ring. You got your ring.
We got him on? Look at that.
All
Get a
three
shot of that right there. That's what it's all about. That's what you play for. And then there's me right there. Empty. Honey, I love you. That touched off a celebration, too, by the way. Give me your thoughts. What do you expect in this series here, Dave?
Thoughts is, our pitching staff is stay strong. Let's generate some more run action, maybe get a few more guys over by bunting. Hopefully Zamaya's going to be healthy. I don't know the status on him. If our bullpen can come through, pick up the pitchers, I got it in 6. I want to come to Game 6 here.
There it is. He's got tickets for Game 6. He wants to make sure he comes back.
You know, Larry, did you start with the Cardinals? I remember you always telling me those stories about that nasty right-hander, Bob Gibson. So you probably got a little different feelings too with this World Series.
Yes, I started with the Cardinals. Happened to hit 1,000 in my Cardinal career, but they traded me. And so I'd like to see us sweep these guys right now. I want to see us just put a mash into them. But I do have a little.
Still see that Bob Gibson? Is he still around a little bit?
I haven't seen him in a while, but I told you a long time ago, meanest player I ever seen in my life. So I don't want to see him act now. We like to beat that red up.
That's right.
Well, you know what? Part of what made '68 so special was beating a Hall of Famer like a Bob Gibson, and those are the memories that we'll see out there. And certainly, I think, you know, Larry, you could attest to this and talk about it, because as a hitting coach, one thing that it seems like the Tigers have done is they've kind of changed their approach at the plate during this postseason. They've been a lot more disciplined.
Yes, they have been disciplined, and you can see using the whole field, they, you know, hitting strikes, and then everybody's, you know, involved. So that puts a lot of pressure on the opposing pitcher, and I think that's the kind of ball that's the kind of ball they've been playing the whole year. So if they just keep doing that, we're going to be okay.
All right, it's a public service to Dave Rozema. Here's what we're going to do. All right, get out of the way. Here's where your seat is. You see the Pepsi ball out there? Can we get a shot of that? He's behind the Pepsi ball, up top, left field side. There it is.
Bob Uecker ticket.
He's out there, but you know what? He's got a ticket, and that's what counts. We'll take a break and come right back. Stay with us. We are counting you down. Hey, the Tigers, they're home for the postseasons right here on Fox 2. Thanks, guys.
Live coverage is brought to you by the Detroit Medical Center, home of the Detroit Tigers docks. Chevy drives the Motor City, and the new AT&T, your world delivered.
Introducing Points from National City, the best banking rewards program. It gives you points for paying your bills online. What you get with your points is pretty much up to you. Points from National City. Sign up today. Introducing Points from National City, the best banking rewards program. It gives you points for so many of the things you do every day. What you get with your points is pretty much up to you. Points from National City. Sign up today.
Maura Corrigan. As Chief Justice on Michigan's Supreme Court, Maura Corrigan led the way to improve our foster care system. Now Michigan is a model for the nation, and more kids are moving into permanent homes faster. Justice Maura Corrigan. She ordered state courts to work with local child protection agencies to find runaways. Nearly 75% of runaways from the foster care system were found. Call Justice Corrigan today and thank her for protecting Michigan children.
Dick DeVos has supported NAFTA, an agreement that sent tens of thousands of our jobs to Mexico. He invested over $200 million in China, building a factory to create thousands of jobs there. Now we find out Dick DeVos incorporated his company in Bermuda, perhaps to avoid paying U.S. taxes. So where do you suppose Dick DeVos thinks the governor's office should be? The Cayman Islands?
Donate your car, running or not, to Charity Motors. Your donation is tax deductible and benefits the charity of your choice. Proceeds from the sale of your car can help save a life, shelter a homeless pet, start a career, or fulfill a dream. Call Charity Motors today to arrange for free pickup of your car, boat, or RV. For more information, simply call 313-255-1000 or log on to CharityMotors.org.
Charity Motors, helping those who help others.
How to speak politician.
And in 5 years, you're going to be blown away.
That's politician for don't look at the last 4 years. How to speak more politician.
We are thrilled about how this economic plan is working.
That's politician for it's not working, and we're still losing jobs.
We're only getting started, my friends.
That's politician for I haven't gotten it done.
Live coverage is brought to you by your Metro Detroit Ford dealers. Think Ford first. National City. We want to make banking simpler. And wall-side windows. We can do that. We're the factory.
Hulking 6'3" figure of Kirk Gibson. For the 5th time in 5 games, the Tigers have struck first. Gibson's blast has Detroit up 2-0. Gibson's 3-run homer has blown this game apart, sweeping all of Tiger Stadium into a spontaneous celebration. A moment of triumph for a ball club and a coming of age for Kirk Gibson, undeniably reaching the heights of his talent.
What a memorable moment from 1984. Hopefully we'll be doing that again.
Yes.
Welcome back to Fox's coverage of the World Series Game 1. And to prove that we are about fair play on Fox.
That's right. We're fair and balanced.
That's right. We have Ellen here, who, as you can tell, is a St. Louis Cardinal fan. What do we have to say to Ellen?
Yeah.
There you go.
Ellen, we knew you weren't going to be the most popular person when you came up here on the news set.
Yeah.
In from St. Louis?
Well, actually, I dropped a teenager off in Cleveland, and then we figured out we were this close to Detroit, so we made the trip around the lake to Detroit.
And you got tickets?
No, we don't.
Oh, you're just hanging out.
We're just going to party on the roof with the crowd until they throw us off.
It takes a little courage.
Okay,
It takes a little courage to come up here in the middle of Tiger Country. You call this Tiger Town right now.
But seriously, Ellen, you really don't think you have a chance to win, do you?
Yes. We came here to bomb-bird the Tigers.
bomb bird. Nah, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. But again,
that's
courageous move. You and a couple Cards fans up here in full red, and you know, you're not letting us stop you.
It's a great atmosphere. It's a great city. It's a great atmosphere. We love your stadium.
Well,
we have to say we love your stadium. I think both teams deserve to win, and we'll just, you know.
Well, there you go.
the best team win.
And the Detroit fans are treating you nicely, really?
Yes,
That's right.
yes,
It's not
yes.
too hostile.
Great atmosphere.
All right.
Everybody's been very friendly.
Well, fantastic.
Great
Well,
atmosphere.
thanks for coming up here and
Ellen,
talking to
enjoy
us.
the city. Enjoy the game. Hate to send you home sad, but
I
it's
know.
going to happen that way.
No, we won't sweep you.
Don't cry too much later tonight. All right, thank you.
All right, as part of our team coverage now, let's check in and see how things are going with Ron Savage. I don't think he can hear anymore.
Hey guys, we're out here at Nemo's, 2 blocks down from Tiger Stadium. You're from Allen Park. Are you getting in the game?
No, we're not getting in the game, but we're going to stay here.
All right, stay here and have a good time.
No, I'm in the game.
Well, it's packed here right now. A lot of people are not getting into the game, but there was a very brutal attack in August this year. A woman had her leg broken and her purse was stolen. And the Fox 2 problem solvers, when we learned that she was a Tiger fan, we had to get her into the World Series. Police say numerous tips have come in after viewers saw this surveillance video. 82-year-old Irene Demick was assaulted, her purse stolen in this strong-armed robbery. She was carrying her groceries to her Hamtramck home in August. Although there has not been an arrest, police say they are making progress. An update now as Irene continues to rehab her broken leg. The Fox 2 problem solvers believed Irene, a lifelong Tiger fan, should see her favorite team play in the World Series. Perfect timing. Wayne County Sheriff deputies seized 2 World Series Game 1 tickets during a scalping bust. Irene is about to get a very pleasant surprise. Irene, we know you're a Tiger fan, and John Roach, the deputy with the Wayne County Sheriff's Department, has some great news for you.
Well, ma'am, Sheriff Evans had heard your story, and he also learned that you've been a lifelong Tigers fan as well. And so he's very pleased to present to you 2 tickets to Game 1 of the World Series here in Detroit. So enjoy yourself. It should be a great time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It seemed like at one point I didn't even want to live, and now there's so much to live for.
She remembers Charlie Gehringer and the Tiger greats from years gone by, and now she'll cheer on the new guard. We were thrilled to have the Fox 2 problem solvers get those tickets that were confiscated in that sting when they caught these guys on the sidewalk with some tickets. Irene, you have a great time at the game. She told me she's going to wear a big blanket at the game. Christy's here now. You're from Shelby Township. You're not getting in, are you?
No, I didn't get tickets.
You're going to watch it here.
We are.
All right, we're at Nemo's. We are live. We'll be back with you. Alan, we'll send it back to you. Go Tigers!
See that the atmosphere everywhere is just crazy around here.
So many fans down here that they couldn't get the tickets, but they said, you know, I just want to be downtown for Game 1 of the World Series.
You know, you lost over 100 ball games just 3 years ago, so this is all euphoric. It's unbelievable that this is happening.
Yeah.
We're going to be here for a little bit longer because we're going to be here till 7:30, as a matter of fact.
We're just getting started there, Al.
That's when Fox takes over for the preview of Game 1 of the World Series. Right now, you're watching Fox 2's coverage. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Why share Labatt Blue with friends? Because 150 years ago, a man came to settle a new land and raise 14 children, and built a brewery that would withstand fires, prohibition, and a kidnapping, and made a lager to be named by the fans of a legendary Canadian football team, win international awards, and become the world's best-selling Canadian beer. Why give your friends anything less? Cheers to friends, Labatt Blue.
I live in a small town, and I work for a big company.
At Amway, we make hundreds of quality products.
And we never cut corners. Amway has always spent what it takes to be state-of-the-art.
The products,
the equipment,
the work environment.
It's all first class.
First class.
We're 13,000 employees with nearly half a century of experience.
We're a company of substance.
Of substance.
It makes me proud.
Proud. I'm here to stay.
I
am
Amway.
Freshness, aroma, taste. The Country Inn restaurants serve all homemade cooking with dishes like homemade meatloaf and chicken pot pie, fresh roasted turkey, homemade mashed potatoes and gravy, and soups. Our restaurants have a warm up North Mountain Lodge atmosphere and pride themselves on recipes with quality of the highest level. Remind yourself how great it is to have a fantastic homemade meal out with your family by visiting a Country Inn restaurant near you. The Country Inn. Delicious homemade country cooking.
There she goes again. Debbie Stabenow attacking Mike Bouchard.
What'd you expect? She tried to raise taxes by trillions, was against making English the official language, voted for higher death taxes, and wanted to raise the retirement age for Social Security.
Kind of hard to defend.
Making the same promises she did 6 years ago, and hopes we're dumb enough to believe them.
Worked the first time.
What were we thinking?
What do you mean, we?
I'm Mike Bouchard, and I approve this message.
If an apple a day keeps the doctor away, then my great deals keep the customers coming back. I think great deals are like Twinkies for the wallet. We encourage our customers to shop the competition because an informed shopper is our best customer. Of course, an uninformed shopper is welcome too.
ABC Warehouse. No Twinkies, just the closest thing to wholesale.
Get a Sony Bravia 32-inch 720p LCD HD TV, just $14.97.
Fernandez has retired 2 Padres. Now he takes aim at history. A 4th world title for Detroit and a show of unrestrained joy. Ending a season they totally dominated, the Tigers are truly champions. A crowning moment for Sparky Anderson, the first manager to win a World Series in both leagues. And he'd be the first to say he couldn't have done it without his well-blessed boys. Now, time to honor a champion and time to pay special homage to so many championship performances.
And there it is, a live look at Comerica Park as the fans get ready for Game 1 of the World Series. And, of course, just a moment ago there, you saw 1984, the victory celebration. A very quick shot of Dan Petry in there in the locker room, enjoying it. What sticks out in your mind most about that moment in the locker room where you guys finally got to let loose?
Well, I mean, first of all, was my long hair. I got rid of that. No, but no, you know what? And just seeing the guys again, it's just, you know, from that celebration on, you know, you've got lifetime friends. And, you know, of course, seeing Aurelio Lopez in there, and he's no longer with us, you know, and it's just something, again, that's going to remain with you the rest of your life. So no matter what happens, you're always going to have friends for life.
Well, if you're just joining us, you have missed some of his old friends. We've had a chance to talk to a number of them here today, this afternoon. Larry Herndon was with us just a moment ago, and, of course, he caught that last out, and that will always be etched in people's minds because it's not always the moments that get you there. Of course, that's a part of it, but it's also the moment that sets it off. And Larry Herndon, as we said, will always have that baseball in his hand. Well, as you can imagine, for news organizations such as ours, although that was long before my time, no pun intended, long before my time, a championship is something that you'll always remember. Let's take a look back at how Murray Feldman saw this in 1984.
The World Series was the event that did it, but this was the moment that made it. Realization that it happened in Detroit. And when Sparky Anderson's car made it down the parade route, the crowd closed in. Police tried to keep the people back, but it didn't work.
This is not a parade, it's actually just a line, and these cars are trying to get through this line of people, but the people just want to touch a tiger.
I'll tell you, you don't know what these people are like until you get down in the middle of them. They're awesome, I'll tell you. You guys are great.
This is the hand.
That's Kirk Gibson.
Can you believe it? No! At times when the parade hit the downtown area, things got tight, real tight. People mobbing their heroes, jumping on their cars. But most of the Tigers took it as it was intended, with warm wishes.
Larry, what do you think of these fans and the way they're acting?
We love it, we love it. It's great, it's great.
Are they orderly?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
There was one disappointment for fans like Pat Hutchinson, who managed to get every player's autograph except that of Jack Morris.
People were waiting and people were just begging for his autograph, and he said no. He lost a few points with his fans.
Yes, the parade had its ups and it had its downs. Jack Morris apparently didn't care for all the fuss. Those along the parade route will tell you it passed by rather quickly.
Within 20 minutes, it was all over. And this strip of Michigan Avenue, which they call Tiger Trail, will never be the same. Until, of course, next year. In Detroit, Murray Feldman, Channel 2 Eyewitness News.
How about Murray Feldman? Looked like he needed a chaperone to do that report.
It looks pretty good, though.
He did look pretty good. He still looks pretty good. Murray, we're fans. Jack Morris looked like he enjoyed that parade about as much as he enjoyed talking to the media, huh?
You know what? That was a great time, though. And Jack actually got up and had to do a speech once we got down to Cadillac Square, I think it was. I don't remember, but that was a great time. You never experience a ticker tape parade like that, and it's wonderful.
All right, Murray mentioned next year. 1985 memories.
You know what? I mean, we were set up, especially with that 35-5 start and kind of, going through the playoffs really quickly. And we were set up for years to come. We were all young and had strong up the middle. And the next year, it seems like, the brakes start going against you a little bit. Everybody's shooting for you.
Sure.
You're the world champions. They're all always trying to knock you off. A little bit like what happened with Chicago.
Makes you realize how precious it is. Not that you don't think about that at the time, but I think sometimes when you're young and you win one, you think, oh, we're going to do this again, and there are no guarantees.
Absolutely, and it just seems like, the Tigers, maybe hopefully 3 years from now, you and I are sitting here saying, the Tigers are going for their third straight, World Series title, and this is boring. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, we're going to swing it from here to Jason Carr, who as always has found himself. Now, I'm guessing he's where is he? Right behind us?
Yeah,
is he down there? Jason Carr amidst the masses. What's happening?
We're right across from you. Give us a wave. There you guys are on the top of Chili's Chili Bar. Look at this view that we have. We only have a little bit of time here to show you the inside of Comerica Park. We have much more coming up on Fox 2, your exclusive home of the Tigers for the World Series. Stay tuned.
Have you had a good day lately? Did you wake up to a smile? Come on, have a seat and stir a little while. It's a brand new morning. There's a lot that you should know. It's a good day, so let it show. Oh, good day. Have you had a good day lately? Good day. Have you had a good day lately?
Try new KFC Famous Bowls. Freshly prepared with our home-style mashed potatoes, layered with sweet corn, all-white meat crispy chicken, and topped with our signature gravy and 3-cheese blend. Dig into great layers of flavor with KFC Famous Bowls.
So what's the deal? Oh, Comcast put internet, phone, and cable together in one package for just $33 each per month when you call this number and sign up for all three.
No, what's the deal with our stunt doubles doing the hard sell?
Comcast put high-speed internet, digital cable, and digital voice in one package for just $33 each per month for 1 year. 3 products, 1 bill, 1 price. All you have to do is call the number on your screen to order. It's an easy way to save a lot of money. So call it a day.
Get the Comcast Triple Play. $33 a month for high-speed internet that's faster than DSL, $33 a month for phone with unlimited local and long-distance calling, and $33 a month for digital cable with on-demand. A great deal when you subscribe to all 3 for a whole year. The Comcast Triple Play. It's Comcastic.
Okay, this is my idea. It's a kid show, and it's all about this guy right here. And he flies into kids' bedrooms while they're sleeping, and he steals their teeth. All of them.
That's absolutely terrifying. It's not a kid's show. It's more like a nightmare.
That's right. You're the first to get it.
Okay, thank you.
Dad, let's go. They're not buying it.
You'll never see a show like this on Singular, but you will see the family favorite, SpongeBob, on Nick Mobile. Now on Singular Video, raising the bar.
Now pick up 9 juicy KFC drumsticks and thighs for just $5.99. Or get a 9-piece meal with 2 large sides and 4 biscuits for $9.99. Get more flavor to savor at KFC.
You are looking at Comerica Park, where tonight, for the first time in 22 years, World Series baseball is back in the city of Detroit. The fans have begun to file in, and outside of Comerica Park, I'm telling you, since early this afternoon, this has been the place to be. Of Folks out having a good time, snapping up memorabilia, Old English D's everywhere, and we're glad you decided to join us tonight. My name is Dan Miller, along with former Tiger and 1984 world champion Dan Petry. We are getting set to roll as the Tigers will be here on Fox 2 every step of the way in the postseason. You know, Dan, one question, and let's get right to it, that a lot of people had was, Tigers wrap up the ALCS last Saturday. They've got essentially 6-7 days to sit around and wait for an opponent they didn't even know who they'd be playing till Thursday night. People wondering whether or not that could take some of the momentum that this team had going and kind of make it disappear.
Well, I think that's a sound question, too, about the layoff. You know, does it hurt? Does it help? And that's one of the very important things is about that momentum. Anytime you lose or win 7 games straight, you're going to be a little concerned with that. But I think they're going to be so chomping at the bit to play because they've had that layoff that it's not going to hurt them.
Well, also, you look back historically at the last 5 teams that have had 6 days off before they had to start a World Series. 4 teams have won it, but it's got to worry you whenever all the experts start saying, oh, this is one-sided, this is going to be Detroit, maybe a sweep, maybe 5 games. Everybody seems to think that this is the Tigers series, and they have gone from being a big-time underdog against the Yankees to now, in many people's eyes, an overwhelming favorite against St. Louis.
And I think they relish that underdog tag that's been labeled on them the first 2 series, but I don't think Jim Leyland is going to, let that happen. Okay, wait a minute. He'll try to somehow reverse those fortunes and make them feel like they're the underdogs and us against the world.
All right, we're going to swing it inside now. Jennifer Hammond and Woody Woodriffe standing by with our coverage inside of Comerica Park. Guys, what's happening?
Hey, you know what, Dan? I'll tell you something. You talk a little bit about the Tigers perhaps being underdogs throughout this whole postseason and that they are no longer. The St. Louis Cardinals, Woody, have been exactly the same way. They felt that they've been the underdog throughout as well.
That's why it's almost like a mirror image of these 2 teams, from the manager all the way down. I mean, Tony La Russa against Jim Leyland, guys who've probably forgotten more baseball than we'll ever know. So, there's a lot of things in play tonight, a lot of moves to be made. You can tell it's a mental game because that's where everybody's going, into what's in everybody's head. I think once the players get in between the white lines here, it's baseball as usual. But for right now, it's a lot of tension, a lot of juggling. You don't really know how it's going to be. I mean, the Tigers have only had 2 guys in the World Series who have had World Series experience. The Cardinals have 13, so maybe it's a little different that way. But everybody's all systems go and just ready to get it going.
Yeah, and just an early indication, Dan, of the guys that we've seen that have come out here that we've started to talk to. They all say, you know what, we are focused and we are ready to go. Joel Zumaya told me that he knew it was going to be kind of a raucous field when he ran out to the bullpen in left field, but that he had his mind on baseball.
I can't imagine that no one has picked up my little prediction there about Tigers in 4. Yes, no one out here is saying anything about that, and I can't understand why. I mean, that's the way it is. Team of destiny, right?
Well, certainly on paper they look like the team that should have the upper hand. Jim Leyland, though, of course, throughout this series, throughout this postseason, has been making sure that no one puts the focus on him. True to form, even with the Tony La Russa talk, he doesn't want to answer any questions about his buddy, a guy he talks to just about every single day. And Leyland emphasized that point again today when he talked about being in the World Series with his Tigers.
I feel better, to be honest with you, than the people that suffered here for the last 12, 13 seasons, whatever it was. I mean, am I happy for me? Sure, I'm happy for me. Is it a nice little story for me personally? Sure. I signed with this organization in 1963. I was in it 18 years, consecutive 18 years in the minor leagues, and I really never got the opportunity to be a big league coach. The manager's job was taken by Sparky Anderson. They made a pretty good choice there, I'd have to say. So, yeah, this is a thrill for me. I'm from just down the road. 60 miles, and my family and most all of my family was always Tiger fans. I was a Cleveland fan when I was a kid, to be honest with you, but most of the rest of them were all Tiger fans. So that's kind of a nice story, but I think you just have to separate those things and put them in different memory banks and just accept it for what it is.
And certainly separating those things has been something that this Tigers team has done very well during the postseason.
Been able to do it all year, but the one thing that gets me, and baseball is like this more than any other sport, guys can come full circle. You heard Jim Leyland talk about how he came up with the Tigers. I mean, even other guys out here, Gene Lamont came up with the Tigers, and now they are back here on the biggest stage in baseball with the team that they came up with. So it's kind of fitting almost that guys can get that done. I mean, one guy who I guess is on the opposite end of that would be a guy like Jeff Weaver. Came up with the Tigers, but is now here with the Cardinals. We'll hear from him later on in this pregame show.
All right, and Gene Lamont, also Jim Leyland, Tony La Russa, all guys that spent time with the Chicago White Sox. So really there is a big kind of family community in baseball, and a lot of the players talking about that tonight. Tigers getting set for Game 1 of the World Series. We keep on saying it, and every time I say it, Dan, it sounds strange, but here we are. The fans are coming into the ballpark. Tigers out on the field. We'll see the Cardinals. You're going to hear from a whole lot of them as we get you set for Game 1 and the first pitch right here on Fox 2. But for now, Woody and I, we're going to send it back to you guys over on top of Shelley's Chili Bar.
All right, Jen, yeah, you know, it sounds a little weird to say Tigers World Series, but you can get used to it very quickly. It gets very comfortable. You know, speaking of that small baseball community, here's a guy who played for Jim Leland in the minor leagues. Now, we've already established the fact that Jim will say something to his team before each game. What do you anticipate he'll say tonight before Game 1 of the World Series?
I would think that he'd probably, you know, think back to, hey, it's one thing to make the playoffs. That was great. One thing to get by the Yankees. That was really neat, too. Another thing to win the American League pennant. But you know what? It's something completely different. We've got one more step to go. So let's not just be happy that we're here. Let's finish this thing off and now win the biggest prize of them all.
And I don't think this team has given any indication whatsoever, Dan, that they are in any way, shape, or form content. These guys, if anything, and it's almost a little bit odd because of where they've come from, these guys are hungry, though.
I think you're right. I think they keep saying that, you know, nobody, you know, gave us a chance at the start of the year, and then we got to 40 games over 500, and now they're kind of saying, well, we're going to show you, and don't jump on our bandwagon, you know, or all you guys that jumped on our bandwagon, we've been telling you all season long, you know, that we're pretty good, and we got a good chance of winning this thing.
Well, they got a chance starting tonight with Game 1 of the World Series. We are at Shelley's Chili Bar just across the street from Comerica Park. We are all over the city, and our man on the streets is Jason Card. He's always finding something to do. Jason, not hard, huh?
Oh, this is a poetic scene. Baseball and poetry go hand in hand. I'm watching the sunset behind the Fox Theater. Over my right shoulder, you see the center field scoreboard. 2006 World Series at Comerica Park. It sends chills down your spine. Look at this view we have. Photographer Greg Taccio is going to shoot down into the crowd. They had a band going there a second ago. People were rocking and rolling and grooving. The excitement is building. Even Joel Zumaya here in his Tiger outfit. Dude, what's up?
Got to support the Tigers.
Yeah, now what's the inspiration for this costume that you're wearing, being a grown man?
World Series, that's it. I wore it to all the games I went to in the playoffs, and it's good luck basically now, so I can't stop.
Give me your best growl. I think the Dans might be able to top that. Let's go back over the way. I'm looking at the backs of their heads. Dan Petry, Dan Miller, back to you guys.
A costume even Putty would be comfortable in, would you say?
Got to support the team.
Got to support the team, absolutely. We're talking about the team, the Detroit Tigers. World Series game number 1 coming up tonight. Anthony Reyes and Justin Verlander. Couple of rookies starting in this one. We will talk about that and much more as we roll on with our pregame show. Hey, if you're just joining us, we've been here since 4 o'clock. Where have you been? We're counting you down to the network takes over at 7:30. Stay with us.
Live coverage is brought to you by the Detroit Medical Center, home of the Detroit Tigers docks. Chevy drives the Motor City, and the new AT&T, your world delivered.
It's the time of the season when love runs high. In this time,
moving your 401ks to Fidelity is groovy. Our retirement specialists make it so easy, they'll even do most of the paperwork. You dig? Call 1-800-FIDELITY. Smart move.
Visit your local Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer. Residency restrictions apply.
At Citgo, we sell gas. Nothing fancy, just a good deal on good fuel and everything else over 10 million people rely on each day to keep moving.
Go ahead. Ignore me. But I couldn't sleep at night if you two didn't protect, even guarantee some of your assets for retirement. A percentage of your portfolio in an AXA Equitable annuity could guarantee income for life. Long story short, I definitely call them. But what do I know? I'm just the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
Want guaranteed income for life? Call your financial advisor and ask for an annuity from AXA Equitable.
There she goes again. Debbie Stabenow attacking Mike Bouchard.
What'd you expect? She tried to raise taxes by trillions, was against making English the official language, voted for higher death taxes, and wanted to raise the retirement age for Social Security.
Kind of hard to defend.
Making the same promises she did 6 years ago, and hopes we're dumb enough to believe them.
Worked the first time.
What were we thinking?
What do you mean, we?
I'm Mike Bouchard, and I approve this message.
Live coverage is brought to you by your Metro Detroit Ford dealers. Think Ford first. National City. We want to make banking simpler. And wall side windows. We can do that. We're the factory.
Welcome back, everybody. The old baseball adage, it all comes down to pitching. Well, tonight, two rookies, one of whom has obviously been a big part of the Tigers' success. Two rookies, though, will get the start. Let's take a look at our AT&T, a call to arms. Take a look at these guys side by side. Justin Verlander, one start against the Cardinals this year, in which he got a victory. And then Reyes, that's his postseason numbers right there. But Verlander, I guess, is a guy you really can't say enough about him. And Dan Petry, is it a disservice at this point to call him a rookie? Has he now graduated into the sophomore class?
Well, I think you can still call him a rookie, but he is just like no other rookie, though, because he's so poised and certainly pitches like a veteran. He's already got 2 postseason starts under his belt, and I'm sure that's why Leland said, you know what, I'm tabbing you as game #1 start. He's got all the faith in the world in him.
Boy, I tell you what, that is some faith right there to just say, go on out there, because Kenny Rogers, we know why he did it. He wanted him to pitch twice at home and ride that wave of emotion that he's been on, but it's pretty heady stuff for a rookie to be out there. And first time ever that you've had 2 rookies starting in Game 1 of a World Series.
I still think that Leland's just thinking about him going out there and the Cardinals coming in here, and he's going to be throwing 100 miles an hour, and he's going to say, all right, boys, here we come, and this is what you better get used to seeing, and, you know, here comes this hard stuff right at you. It can be pretty intimidating.
Steady diet to have fastballs coming at him, and teams, the Yankees and the Oakland Athletics, can both tell them all about it. They had a tough time catching up with it, and we'll see how St. Louis does this evening. Now, as we talked about just a couple of minutes ago, many people's eyes, the Tigers are the favorite in this game, but Justin Verlander says they still feel like underdogs.
I think we still view ourselves as the underdogs, personally. You know, I don't think there's any way since day one that we've been doubted. Through the first half, we were doubted. The second half, you know, we kind of fell off a little bit, and they were like, see, it happened. You know, we get to the postseason, we're going to lose the first series. And, you know, we were underdogs all the way through the entire season up till now. I don't see how we're still not underdogs in our own mind when everybody's doubted us the entire time.
All right, so Justin Verlander getting set for this one. Let's talk for just a minute about Anthony Reyes, because he comes in, okay, both rookies, but the track record for Verlander much more significant than what Reyes comes in with.
Yeah, with a 5-8 record, and I believe he's got the lowest amount of wins of any Game 1 starting pitcher in history. But I remember seeing him a game earlier this summer, and he seems to me like he's got a big sweeping curveball, a good changeup, as you saw right there, and it seems like everybody now throws in the mid-90s. So by no means is he just some guy that Tony La Russa is just throwing out there.
I think the thing that stands out for me as we watch him get ready to deliver this pitch, and hopefully we'll see it again, would be the socks. Got those high socks working there.
Well,
looks like a throwback.
And the flat bill, you got to see where it's almost like it's ironed right across the top there.
That's the old Bobby Ross hat. That's like Bobby Ross used to wear on the sideline for the Lions. But he will be out there tonight throwing in the World Series, and I guess that's a double-edged sword when you have the least amount of victories for anybody that's ever started Game 1 of the World Series. Number one, you have the least amount of victories for anybody that's ever started the World Series. Number two, you're starting in the World Series.
Absolutely, and you know what? I mean, you just don't want to let your teammates down. I mean, you see those guys in there, they won a big Game 7, and again, you just want to come out and just give your team a chance to win, and I'm sure he's going to try to do everything he can to do that.
Well, the Cardinal pitching staff, and we'll get into some of the specifics in just a bit, they have been very good, and everybody talked about the injuries that they had. these guys really shut the Met bats down at critical times.
Dave Dombrowski, I know just briefly yesterday, I was talking to him, had a chance to talk to him. That was one of the things that scared him a little bit. Outside of Albert Pujols, who obviously is one of the best hitters in the game, he was very nervous about how that pitching staff just may be able to shut down the Tigers' bats.
Well, we'll see what happens. It will all unfold right here on Fox 2. Right now from here at Chelly's Chili Bar, just across the street from the park, let's go inside, down on the field. Jennifer Hammond standing by.
Thanks, Dan. Back down on the field, standing by with one of my very favorite interviews in the Tigers clubhouse, Vance Wilson. You always humor the masses. We get so many fan letters every single day for more Vance Wilson. We want all Vance all the time. So it wouldn't be Game 1 of the World Series if we didn't have you on the air again.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'm glad you wore white after Memorial Day, too, which is a no-no.
Hey, it's down. It's down-filled, so it's okay.
It's down white.
Let me ask you about driving to the ballpark today, if it felt a little bit different, if you kind of were going through your mind. I mean, if you smiled yourself, it's Game 1 of the World Series, and I'm headed to the ballpark on October 21st.
That's unbelievable. I mean, I like to ride by myself. You got music playing. I look down, I'm going like 90 miles an hour. I mean, it's just, you know, we've been waiting for this to get here now for a week, and now that it's here, it's awesome.
Good thing the trooper who Kenny doused with champagne didn't find you. You guys would be in trouble.
Yeah, seriously. That's the one time you actually thought, well, maybe being a Tigers player might help you out if I got pulled over. But I slowed it down, and the problem is this thing goes by so fast that you really have to slow down to enjoy it.
When you sit and watch this game and watch the opening ceremonies, is it tough to not, I mean, feel the emotions of the moment? I mean, as you guys have done in the ALCS and the DS, to sit and look around and just kind of soak it in?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I'm like the hen mother of the team, so I'll probably cry tonight. I mean, it's just so much emotion, and every player's got their story, how they got here, and most players had some type of adversity. So to be able to get to this point with this team and your brothers, I mean, everyone has so much emotion. It's going to be awesome.
I don't know if you know about it. The 2004 Detroit Pistons were very similar that way. A little bit of cast-offs, some cast-offs, and some people have compared this Tigers team to that team. Do you see some guys that really kind of have something to prove? Even the other day, Mags was saying, nobody else wanted me, but the Tigers took a chance on me.
Oh, I mean, everybody has a story. And the biggest thing is the majority of these guys have been on losing teams in their career. Todd Jones, you know, Maglo, Chicago hasn't always been good there. Brandon's come up through this organization. I was in New York, so it's funny to kind of get not only we call each other cast-offs, but from so many different parts. We're all from different parts of the country or a different country, so to come together and finally be winners together, it's very special.
I know there was a chance you guys could have had the Mets, but you get the Cards. Talk a little bit about this lineup. They're not unlike you guys.
They play small ball. And the biggest thing is whoever's pitching executes is going to win this series. So, you know, we talk about the fact that we have more power or we can manufacture. They can score runs. And their biggest thing and why they beat the Mets is the Mets didn't get any timely hitting because their pitchers executed. So the biggest thing is our hitters got to out-execute them if we want a chance.
How impressed are you by what you've seen from Justin Verlander this postseason?
Awesome. I mean, the biggest thing is you know, our team's got him some runs. He's settled. He's cocky. You know, I mean, he's arrogant, which is huge for a rookie to be able to come through. So, I mean, I've been impressed with our whole pitching staff. They just feed off each other.
All right, good luck with Game 1 here today.
All right, thanks.
All right, Vance Wilson, our Tiger. Who's your Tiger? He's our Tiger. Vance Wilson, great guy, and obviously a huge part of the chemistry in that Tigers clubhouse. Dan?
All right, Jen, thank you very much. Jen brings up a good point there. You know, Vance Wilson may not play as much as some other guys. He has had some big hits for this team this year, but it's the whole mix. It's everybody in that clubhouse that helps bring this thing together.
Absolutely, and you know what? Just being a catcher, it's almost like you know, another manager out there, and he may see some things that a pitcher's doing, and he might go over and whisper in Pudge's ear, hey, you know what? You know, I know you see everything, but hey, why don't you have him try this? This seems to work sometimes.
Absolutely. The more eyes, the better. We're going to take a break, come right back. We have plenty coming up. We will take you back inside. You'll hear from many of the players that are going to be on the field for this one tonight. You are looking down at batting practice as the Tigers get set to go here at Comerica Park in Game 1 of the World Series. And remember, you don't need to go anywhere. Sit back and relax. It'll all unfold right before your eyes on Fox 2.
Another reason to use MyFoxDetroit.com, a whole page dedicated to your Tigers in the World Series. Now working for you on the web. MyFoxDetroit.com.
In honor of our Tigers, Wallside, your other home team, hits a grand slam. Every 6th Wallside window, free. Buy 10, get 2, free. And when you place your order during this historic week, Wallside will give you an extra 10% right off your bill. Plus no interest for 2 years and no down payment. Now when it comes to saving on energy bills, you can hit one right out of the park. Call Wallside today, 1-800-521-7800.
At National City, we want to make banking simple. When your banking is simplified, you have more time to do what you really want. So, what's not to like?
Fast is now affordable. With AT&T Yahoo high-speed internet, it's the fastest internet in Detroit for the price, as low as $14.99 a month. And with 4 speeds to choose from, AT&T always gives you the best speed for its price. This is the internet you've been waiting for. Go online for our best deals. The new AT&T, your world, delivered.
Hey, little man, I hope you taking notes. School is in, and I'm the teacher. I'm about to take you to the home and drop you off.
Ooh, looks like somebody missed snack time.
Come on.
Get back to your senses with a new way to snack. McDonald's Snack Wrap. Tender all-white premium chicken breast meat with lettuce, cheddar jack cheese, and ranch sauce in a soft flour tortilla. Try it for just $1.29.
You ain't got nothing. You too small in your face. What?
Next, you with the snack wrap. You want some?
It's truck month at your Chevy dealer. Time to take the sting out of high gas prices and score some bonus cash. Check out Chevy's 07 full-size SUVs. They all can get 20 or more EPA estimated highway miles per gallon.
GM Employee Program participants get a low-mileage lease on this 07 Tahoe for $319 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details.
Get in the game before October 31st.
Chevy drives the Motor City. Go get 'em, Tigers.
Well, it takes a small army to cover this thing for sure, and obviously the Detroit contingent grows now that the Tigers in the World Series for the first time in 22 years. Well, we have a small army here as well, covering everything happening in and around the city of Detroit as World Series game number 1 approaches. Let's check in with Jay Towers, who's outside the stadium.
All right, so you never know who you're going to run into on a big day like this. So I run into Andy Banker, who does Fox 2 in St. Louis on the weekend, the big anchor there, and here you are in our fine city. How are you?
We call that the Fox 2.
Oh, okay.
You want to start with me?
We try not to be so cocky. All right, so listen, let's talk. You know, you got a taste of the Motor City this morning, some of the fans. What can we expect when we go to St. Louis?
I think before the game starts, everything will be great, but it depends on what's happening during the course of the game. I mean, I think if the Tigers are up big and it's a blowout, the fans may get a little testy.
Well, and where wouldn't they? And here's the other thing. I, reporter, ready to cheer on my Tigers. What do you got? What do you?
Red tie, baby.
You have a stained red tie. Where'd you have breakfast?
At the Marriott.
Oh, good. I hope it was good for you.
A little maple syrup off the waffle.
Are you going to game? You're going to be out there tonight?
Yeah, we're going to be working out here most of the day, putting together some reports for St. Louis. I probably won't see much of the game.
Right.
It's always fun to be sitting in there, putting together a story and hearing the cheering. Thinking, oh no, there go the Tigers.
Andy, let me tell you something. You don't know what loud is until you see what happens when this game starts tonight. I'll see you in a minute. Before we wrap up, real quickly, this guy, what's your name?
Tom Jackson.
Tom, you just flew in last night from?
Frankfurt, Germany.
Frankfurt, Germany. Clearly a Tigers fan.
Absolutely, for life.
Wow, all right. How much was that plane ticket?
That plane ticket was a Northwest World Perks plane ticket.
Oh, good.
So I didn't pay for it.
Okay, good. I know those World Perks well. All right, very good. Welcome. It's nice to see you, and we'll send it back to you.
All right, Jay, thank you very much. And Jay talking with a member of the St. Louis media there. I think the one thing that stands out as they kind of jousted a little bit is these are two great baseball cities, two traditional baseball cities.
Yeah, and we talked about earlier just about the logos and everything and heartland of America. And you know what? You got to figure that they're two of the best teams in baseball, too. Don't let that 83 victories by the Cardinals fool you. They're going to come out and try to knock the Sox out.
Yeah, they may have been fooled, but I don't think San Diego or New York were fooled, and they knocked both of them out, even though they weren't favored in either one of those series.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, everybody said that the Mets had the team. Now, they were beat up a little bit with their pitching staff, but they still came through and happened to pull it out in 7 games.
Yep, they had enough arms to get through. We'll see whether or not they got enough arms to get into this one, because remember, they were playing right up until Thursday while the Tigers were resting, and you got to think that's an advantage for Jim Leyland when he has to go out to that bullpen. Meanwhile, back inside, Woody Woodriffe with a special guest. Woody.
Thanks a lot, Dan. Down here on the field before Game 1 of the World Series with a guy who's probably the most known in the last few weeks here in Detroit, Dan Dickerson. And Dan, let's first off talk about that call. I mean, you're one of 3 people now to call a situation like that in the postseason. It's got to be something that you'll remember forever.
You will, just because you remember those moments, so special. The way this crowd reacted, I think that's what I'm always going to remember, is how these crowds were all 4 playoff games. But that night, I think that crowd knew something was going to happen special in the late innings, and the reaction was just incredible.
What was going through your mind, though? He hit it on a 1-0 pitch, right. But what happened after the first pitch? Were you thinking, did you have any preconceived notions or anything?
No, but I think when you get to that part of the lineup, because Monroe got the single, when he stepped up, I thought, I've got to think about a home run here, because he's hit so many late inning home runs, not necessarily with Polanco, although you never know. But I think in that situation, you're thinking one swing of the bat could win it. But with 2 men on, and he's been so good at getting that single with men in scoring position, I was thinking a base hit to win the game. I was not expecting the home run.
You know what, Dan, the way it came out of your mouth, it was almost scripted. I mean, do you practice that kind of thing?
You don't practice it, but I think because it gets so much attention, you have to think about the kinds of things you want to work into it. And you can't script it, because I think then it comes out that way. But I wanted to at least capture the idea of how far they'd come in 3 years. So I knew what I wanted to say, and then you just kind of have to react to the play and let it come out.
You know, you're on the threshold of the World Series. If the Tigers win this thing, I mean, Ernie Harwell had a rock and roll record put out after the 68 series. We're going to see you on a record or something like that?
No, my family won't let me. They won't let me. They know I can't sing.
Dan, how many calls have you gotten? How many letters have you gotten from people who have heard this? I mean, I'm sure it comes from everywhere in the state.
It does. I mean, my wife works up in Michigan State. She gets emails and passes them on to me. But I've heard from, the fun thing is you hear from a lot of people you haven't heard from in a long time, friends that maybe you've lost track of or you just don't stay in touch with. All those people, plus people you just unexpected, people in the business who've called to just say congrats. And it's not just about the call, but it's, we're glad you guys are in the World Series. And I think that's the neatest part. People are happy the Tigers are in the World Series.
I see a lot of that, Dan. It doesn't matter about lineups or pitching problems. It doesn't matter. Everybody is just so pro-Tiger.
They are. And I think other announcers, other people who are in this business realize how far this team has come and the history of this franchise and how much success it used to have. And I think that's why they're so happy for the Tigers.
Well, let's hope that you are the start of another stretch of long history for this team. It would be great for this city and great for you too, Dan Dickerson.
I tell you, it's just, I'm just looking forward to every inning of this World Series.
All right, get to know his face, okay? We hear him on the radio all the time, but we don't get to see him a lot. Dan Dickerson, Tigers play-by-play guy, thanks a lot for joining us down here. Dan, we're on the field before Game 1 of the World Series. Back to you.
Hi, Woody. Thank you very much. And by the way, Ernie Harwell is going to call the second inning on XYT, so that's pretty cool to be able to hear his voice as well. All right, you got to love what this does for a guy like Dan Dickerson. I mean, you were in the business calling baseball games. I have 20 football games a year to call for the Lions. Dan Dickerson calls with playoffs, with maybe a couple of spring training games, let's say 180. I mean, to endure what he's endured. I mean, when they lost 119 games, the man that called 162 of them was Dan Dickerson. I think it's great that he gets to enjoy this.
Absolutely. And you know what? We do a little radio show in the offseason just to promote the Tigers and what their moves are. And at the end of the show, I just said to him, boy, I hope to get to call your first World Series game this year. Halfway serious, but halfway just kind of rooting for the guy. Little did I know either that he would have a chance to finally do it.
It's good stuff, and he's one of the good guys. There's no doubt about that. Deserving. We hope he has a great time up there in the booth. All right, from here at Chelly's Chili, just across the street from the stadium, let's swing it over to Hockeytown. Wyatt Everhart standing standing by. Wyatt, we had some rain earlier today. Everything looks great right now.
Dan, it looks like we're going to start off game one on a good weather note. Tiger Town. You'd have to call it Tiger Town tonight. I'm not seeing many Red Wings outfits out here. Weather-wise, right now, clear sky, clouds blowing in out of the west. I don't think we're going to see rain for at least the first half, 2/3 even of the game, but we may see some patchy drizzle toward the late innings. So right around 50 degrees for the first pitch, southwest wind around 10 miles per hour. Shouldn't play much into the game in terms of pop flies, anything like it. Not a lot of wind this weekend. Let's take you into the overnight, and this is what we're watching. A big rainmaker is on the way overnight. We hope it comes in after the 9th inning, and we also hope it's out of here by the first pitch tomorrow night, just past 8 o'clock. Right now, it looks like the rain is going to come in overnight after midnight and be out of here, hopefully, in time to start off the game tomorrow. So it could be a good weather scenario here. Right now, though, it is gorgeous on top of what I'll call Tiger Town right now. Dan.
All right, thank you very much, Wyatt. So we got 50 degrees for the first pitch. That's good baseball weather, right?
Yes, it is. And also Justin Verlander, fast worker. Hopefully he can make quick work of the Cardinals offense before and beat that rain.
Although, given his preference, what did you want? 98 degrees and 100% humidity?
The hotter the better, you betcha. But no, you know what though? But you're not going to get that in this time of year.
No,
so
you're
you
not.
Certainly take it.
Not unless something very, very odd is going on, which I don't think we should call for at this point. All right, from here, let's go to Ron Savage. Ron's always got it all covered. Ron, what's going on?
Hey guys, we are a block from Tiger Stadium when they won it in '68, of course, and in 1984. This was the Tiger cheer. Tigers are revved up. Now, Katie and Ken are here from Milford. We got a guy in the bullpen that may need to go in for the Tigers. You guys get the jugs gun on.
Hunter's the man. Hunter's the man.
This is Hunter now. Hunter from Riverview. All right, Hunter.
Come on, Hunter. Woo! I think that was woohoo! That was about 103. That was 103. That was about 97.
Hunter's throwing 96 on about 96 miles. So, like, if Todd Jones or somebody gets a sore arm, he can go in?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's got
you like that, King?
Yeah, you know what? He's going to be down there. We might need to use him tonight, for sure.
Okay, well, I understand that we're live across the state of Michigan. The biggest Tiger fan is my mom in Lansing. She's 82. Hey, Mom, the Tigers are in the World Series. And Paul Simon and Eric Simon, they throw smoke. They're in Grand Ledge. They used to play for Waverly. They want to see the World Series victory, the Tigers. Thanks a lot, guys. We are live at Nemo's. Who's going to win the World Series?
Detroit Tigers!
Give me a Tiger growl. All right, guys, back to you.
Hi, Ron, thank you. And your 82-year-old mother just called. She said, yes, she is the biggest Tiger fan in the state, but she requests that you don't have that woman scream on television again. My ears are ringing.
Pretty good fastball, though. We're going to have to work with him on a breaking ball.
You got to kind of come down over the top, get that finger flipping a little bit.
Split finger next.
There you go. We got it worked out for you, Ron. We will take a break, come right back. We have plenty to talk about as we count you down towards game one. There it is, Tiger Stadium. Sitting there, and you know what? There's still something special about that place. I don't care if there's anybody in there or not, Dan Petry.
You know what? I agree with you, Dan, but you know what's wonderful? The Comerica Park's going to make its own memories now.
Absolutely. From the old to the new, it starts tonight.
Jennifer Granholm hasn't done the job she said she was going to do when she was elected 4 years ago. Made a lot of campaign promises, but I don't feel that they've been delivered on at all.
I just cannot take the chance on having her not come through again.
I think that it's time for a change, and I think that a new governor is what we need right now.
Good try, and thank you, but it's time to move on.
Man, this thing is smunchy. Smunchy? Soft, melty, crunchy. It's smunchy.
I'm thinking Craffelty. Crunchy, soft, melty.
No, it's more about crunchy, chewy, cheesy. Crunch-chewy.
Nice.
I know. Knuckle me. Thank
Nice.
you.
Oh, okay, I'll just...
Taco Bell's Cheesy Gordita Crunch. Warm flatbread covered in 3 melted cheeses, wrapped around a crunchy taco and topped with a zesty pepper jack sauce. It's a textural taste sensation. To get crunchy, chewy, and cheesy, think outside the bun.
Thousands of people from all walks of life want to keep Michigan's 100-year tradition of protecting mourning doves. Why? Because there's no good reason to shoot doves. They're not overpopulated, they're not harmful to people or property, and doves are so small, they're not shot for food. Out-of-state extremists want to take away our traditions and allow the shooting of doves for target practice. But mourning doves are songbirds, not game birds. Shooting them for target practice is cruel and unnecessary. Vote no on Proposal 3. Vote no on shooting doves.
I'm Pete. I've had nice bosses, mean bosses, short bosses, tall bosses, she bosses, he bosses, they bosses, serious bosses, nervous bosses, and one kind of funny boss. Now I'm the boss, and my plan is to keep the boss happy.
No matter what life throws at you, we'll help you make sense of your options. And we can help today. Call 1-800-FIDELITY. Smart move.
Okay, here's the deal. It's a reality show about the making of a reality show, so while I'm making it, it's genius.
So what would the first one be like?
This.
This what?
This right here, man. You and me talking and stuff.
Just don't think that's what we're looking for.
Hey, cut! Powerful.
Singular passes on a lot of bad to get to the really good, like scenes from the hit show Reno 911 from Comedy Central. Catch it on Singular Video, raising the bar.
Grown man crying there. It's one of the emotions that baseball will bring out, and I guarantee you some grown men will cry if they win this championship in 2006 as the Tigers will embark upon the World Series journey tonight right here on Fox 2, Game 1 against the Cardinals. We will talk much more specifically about that, but right now back to 68. And, you know, in our business, there are always moments where you look around and you say, you know what, I got one of the coolest jobs in the world. And one of my colleagues, Mike O'Hara, from the Detroit News, and he's been there for a long time, realized that during 1968. I'll let him tell you the story.
The Tigers just took over the town. It was a 2-year run there, 67 and 68, and so we're sending all these people to St. Louis for the first 2 games. And look, I was just a Cub reporter at this time, and they just needed me to help out. I mean, I wasn't doing any writing, but I was, you know, helping the other writers and all that. And the next thing you know, opening day of the World Series, and I'm in St. Louis, you know, with Jerry Green and Pete Waldmeyer of our paper at the time, and Larry Middlemass and Watson Spolstra and the rest of the staff, and this dumbbell there, just big eyes, and wow, is this cool.
And make no mistake, there are times when the fan in all of us comes out, especially for somebody like Mike, who grew up in Detroit, and now was covering some of his heroes for a living.
I'm just, you know, a bleacher rat like everybody else. And the next thing, honestly, God, I'm watching batting practice, you know, I guess the day before the game or the day of the game, I don't remember right now. And calling my parents back in South Dakota, telling them I'm at the World Series, you know, and it's, you know, at this stage of the game, you're not, you know, you still love all of this stuff, but when you're younger, like I was then, you just absolutely can't believe it. I remember, you know, I was thinking about this the other day. I think it was either the day before the first game or the day after the first game. I'm sitting in the coffee shop and eating breakfast by myself, and I'm sitting next to the bat boy, and I look over and I wonder if he thinks this is as cool as I do, you know. They lose the first game. I go back that night to get a sandwich or something, and I'm sitting there, and I'm 2 tables away from Al Kaline's wife, and I'm going, I can't believe this. This is me.
And while Mike wasn't there for Game 7, the memories linger. He was there for the clincher in '84 and is helping out as the Tigers' incredible run unfolds this year. For a man whose primary responsibility the last 30 years has been the Lions, our national pastime will always hold a place in his heart.
Baseball is just, it's in your blood. And if it's not in your blood, it's in your brother's blood or your neighbor's. But we all can relate to it. And it's just, it's the pace of the game, it's the style of the game, and it's the way it's been played for so long. Like on that corner in 1901 at Michigan and Trumbull, they started playing baseball, and we all know that. And we connect to the sport. If we don't connect to all the players, we connect to the uniform, the players who wear the uniform. And it's like I said, you cannot emphasize enough how much baseball is in America's blood.
Well, Mike O'Hara, I think, put it well right there. There's something different about it, and I think he's right. It is because we've all played catch with our brother or our father, or at one moment shared that love of this game, and some of the other sports don't really relate like that.
You know what, I remember being in the city for probably about 10 years, was traded over to the Angels, was in spring training, and Mike O'Hara shows up at an Angels spring training game. I, for the life of me, didn't know he was a baseball fan. I just always thought he was a football guy, and, you know, you can hear the passion in his voice, and I love just sitting down here, and we've talked baseball ever since.
You know, I think it's interesting, too, Dan, when we look back at those highlights of '68 and listen to Mike reflect, one thing that you've said and talked about since we've been working together is 68 had their own identity. It was very important to you guys in 84 to kind of move past that with no disrespect, but to get your own identity. And behind us tonight, these guys are trying to kind of get their own piece of history and their identity.
It is, and I hope they do get it. I mean, for the last 22 years, don't get me wrong, it's very nice that people still come up and, hey, thanks for the memories and everything. And nobody's ever going to forget 1968, 1984. But you know what? I know I have a 21-year-old son who would love to have a memory of his team, his generation being a world championship.
No question about it. One of the gentlemen that will attempt to help the Tigers do that will be starting tonight in center field and hitting in the leadoff position. Jennifer Hammond had a chance to chat with him.
Is it a tough balance to try to get focused and stay mentally calm and keep it just a baseball game with all of the excitement around you?
I think what I'm going to have to do is go back to the Yankee series and step back, because I know the game itself is going to go ahead and propel me 100 miles an hour, and then everything should go ahead and even out. As soon as I get my first ball hit to me, my first at bat, everything will kind of settle in.
Curtis, to what extent did you guys feed off of Kenny in his last couple playoff outings here?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
To what extent did you guys feed off of Kenny's emotion in the last two playoffs?
It was big. You get a chance to see an older guy explode and get excited like a little kid, still have that energy, still have that excitement, and want the ball pitch after pitch and batter after batter in those outings. And it was great to be behind him and be a part of it.
Anthony Reyes has never pitched against you guys. How tough is it to scout him and take a look at what he's done, just 2 postseason starts?
I watched the one game against the Mets, and his changeup looked great. He was also keeping him honest with the fastball as well, too. And we tried to get as much film on him as we can, but again, there's not that much. He's going to come out, he's going to have a bunch of energy and enthusiasm ready to go, so we just got to try to combat that and slow him down as well, too.
I know that Jim always tries to say something to you guys in the clubhouse. Sometimes he said humorous, sometimes serious. He's not a rah-rah guy, but what did he say to you guys today before this game?
Nothing yet. We're going to get back in after BP. I'm sure he'll have something to say there. I'm sure it's going to be very loose and relaxed, and it's going to end up with some kind of joke at the end.
Curtis Granderson, a young man who has done some terrific things very early in his career, and him getting on base is going to be a big part of this team's success once again in this series.
He's going to have to jumpstart everything, and especially, you know, with Craig Monroe and Polanco being so clutch like that and getting big hits, if he's on base, it's a good sign for the Tigers.
And Craig Monroe, in case you're wondering, in that number 2 hole again today. So Jim Leland liking what he has seen since moving him up in the order.
Exactly, and the same old thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Nope, nothing's broken with this team right now. They'll go out there for Game 1 of the World Series. Coming up, first pitch, let's say about an hour and 15 minutes from now, maybe a little bit more. But we are with you until then. We are taking you right up to the 2006 World Series. You know what? If they'd have told a lot of folks that would be on the scoreboard at Comerica Park on night 1 of the World Series, they'd have told you that's great, but the stadium would be empty. Guess what? It is sold out and ready to rock because the World Series is back in the Motor City.
Another reason to use MyFoxDetroit.com, a whole page dedicated to your Tigers in the World Series. Now working for you on the web. MyFoxDetroit.com.
Hello, steakhouse dinner. Goodbye, paycheck. Instead, come to Old Country Buffet for steakhouse classics. Start with great appetizers like butterfly shrimp, peel and eat shrimp, and sweet onion petals. Then enjoy steakhouse entrees like garlic mushroom steak, peppercorn steak, and rotisserie-style chicken. Get it all with beverages and your favorite desserts, all for one low price. Steakhouse classics without the steakhouse prices. Thursday through Saturday nights at Old Country Buffet.
So what's the deal? Oh, Comcast put internet, phone, and cable together in one package for just $33 each per month when you call this number and sign up for all 3. No, what's the deal with our stunt doubles doing the hard sell? Comcast put high-speed internet, digital cable, and digital voice in one package for just $33 each per month for 1 year. 3 products, 1 bill, 1 price. All you have to do is call the number on your screen to order. It's an easy way to save a lot of money. So call it a day.
Get the Comcast Triple Play. $33 a month for high-speed internet that's faster than DSL, $33 a month for phone with unlimited local and long-distance calling, and $33 a month for digital cable with on-demand. A great deal when you subscribe to all 3 for a whole year. The Comcast Triple Play. It's Comcastic.
There she goes again. Debbie Stabenow attacking Mike Bouchard.
What'd you expect?
She tried to raise taxes by trillions, was against making English the official language, voted for higher death taxes, and wanted to raise the retirement age for Social Security.
Kind of hard to defend.
Making the same promises she did 6 years ago, and hopes we're dumb enough to believe them.
Worked the first time.
What were we thinking?
What do you mean, we?
I'm Mike Bouchard, and I approve this message.
Earn rebates on purchases with the new City Platinum Select Citgo MasterCard. When you apply now through October 31st, 2006 and are approved for a new account, you'll earn 20% rebates on Citgo purchases at the pump and in Citgo branded stores for your first 60 days. Earn up to $50 in rebates each month. The new City Platinum Select Citgo MasterCard. One more reason so many people trust Citgo for a good deal on fuel and everything else.
Sky Fox with the view from above as you look down at the crowd around Comerica Park and folks posing for pictures down there. And it's one of the great things. You see so many people just snapping off the shots. And for years to come, they will say, this picture, Game 1 of the World Series, and I was there. And some of the folks lucky enough to have tickets will make their way in as well. You know, one of the great things about being in the World Series and making this journey through the playoffs is folks around the country begin to realize what you have as a baseball team. And one group of guys that has really gotten a lot of publicity throughout this has been the Tigers bullpen, and for good reason. Ryan Armani has more.
The Tiger bullpen has been getting the job done all season long for this club, and the postseason has been no different. How about 17 innings and only giving up 4 runs? They're getting the job done.
Our bullpen's been pretty good all year. You know, everything gets magnified in the playoffs, so we definitely, wanted to pitch well, and I think we did for so far this postseason. I'm hoping they can continue.
They've held it down all year for us, so that's definitely a big plus for us to know that when we turn it over, the bullpen's gonna do an unbelievable job for us.
As for Jamie Walker, he could care less about what the Tigers bullpen has done up to this point.
It doesn't mean nothing right now. We got 4 more wins we need to do, and that's what we're focusing on. What you do in the past in baseball means nothing. It's what you do today. And Jim Leland has been good about preaching that. And, that doesn't mean nothing what we've done yesterday, day before. Yeah, we've accomplished something, but, our goal is to win that World Series. And until you come back then and ask the question, then we'll see what the answer is.
At Comerica Park, Ryan Armani, Fox 2 Sports.
All right, back here live, Dan Petry with us as well. And Dan, let me ask you, as a former starting pitcher, when you know your bullpen's on a roll like that, and you figure, you know what, if they get 6 innings out of me, we're in great shape. I know you'd like to give them 7 or 8, but that's got to give you a lot of confidence as the starter.
You know what, it takes a lot of pressure off you. The old adage is go as long as you can, as hard as you can, and as you said, it might only be 5-6 innings. That's just pretty much what Justin Verlander's done in his 2 starts, and that's been good enough for the Tigers.
And I think one of the key things is, too, Jim Leland's been able to work so many guys in there into different situations that now each one of those guys comes out with a lot of confidence when they take the mound.
And Jim Leland's got a lot of confidence in them, and that's what he keeps saying is each one of my guys is going to have to get a big out at some time during the season. He doesn't have a number 1 guy, a number 2 guy. He relies on all of them at some point to get a key out.
Well, one guy that he has maintained confidence in throughout the season, even when others were not so sure, is Todd Jones, our Woody Woodriffe with him.
Todd Jones addressing the media. Let's get in right now.
Not let all the craziness that's going on around you take you off your game.
It's one thing to, talk about it all week long. Does it feel a little bit different now that it's actually here?
Yeah, I think a lot of guys are pretty excited that the games are finally going to get underway. There's a lot of people that are, kind of excited and just anxious to just get the ceremonial first pitch and the flyovers and the introductions and just stuff, and let's just play some ball and see what happens.
How many tickets did you need?
I got pretty lucky. I'm at like 15, but at $250 a pop, my friend list got a lot shorter this year for sure.
Todd, sometime in this series, you're probably going to face Albert Pujols in a crucial situation. How do you approach that, and what are your impressions of Albert?
Well, Albert, thankfully, is one of the 3 or 4 guys on the planet that are in their own kind of league, and Albert's a great hitter. He's hit a couple home runs off me that I'm not really excited about talking about, but he's a great player. and you know, I love competing against him, but I know when to hold him and I know when to fold him for sure.
Have your bosses at the Sporting News, John Rawlings, the St. Louis-based Sporting News, said take it easy on the home team a little bit this week?
No, I think they just want a nice, clean series. I think all the fans know that both these teams know how to play ball.
Hey, Todd, 2 rookies starting in this game, but isn't Justin Verlander not a rookie anymore?
Well, he's not anymore. We're going to need him tonight. You know, this is game 1 of the World Series, and we got the most confidence in him. You know, so we expect him not to even bat an eye, just go out there and throw strikes. And if he hasn't been batting an eye, he's got a pretty good poker face.
How much is hinging on the first game?
You know, I don't know. This is my first World Series, so every pitch, every inning can change the momentum of a series. So if we win one or lose one, we probably won't be too ecstatic any other way.
Todd Jones, Dan, talking to the media down here on the field before the game 1 of the World Series. Back to you.
All right, Woody, thank you very much. And down the left field line from Comerica Park, the Blue Cross Blue Shield building, and look what they've done. At the Old English D hanging there on the building. They've got it all lit up. That looks fantastic as the whole city has embraced this run by the Tigers to what they hope will be a World Series title. I got to ask you, as a guy that's been there, Todd Jones is going to get in there at some point in this series with so much pressure that most of us would probably spontaneously combust. I watched Adam Wainwright the other night in Game 7, and I'm looking at this young man, and I'm thinking to myself, how in the heck do you handle this when it looks like everything might fall apart against the New York Mets, and you've got to find a way to throw a strike, and a strike that Beltran's not going to knock out of the park? You've been there. How do you calm yourself?
Well, you know what? I just think it takes a special person to be able to handle pressure like a closer does. I mean, you know, Jack Morris was a special guy, you know, for a starter, and he certainly, you know, handled it a lot better than a lot of starting pitchers. But this thing that I like about this curveball was just unhittable. One of the best baseball players or hitters in the game, and he can't even adjust and even get the bat off his shoulder.
Yeah, because you're thinking fastball at that point, and you see where it is, and you're thinking, hey, that's out of the strike zone, and the next thing you know, that sucker's coming right across the plate.
You have to. You know, he throws in the mid-90s. You've got to look fastball and try to foul off anything else, and he looks at that and he goes, here's fastball, it's eye high, too late, boom, knee buckler.
Well, you know what, and two, the ability to handle that pressure is one of the things that separates guys like you who can pitch the major leagues from guys that you probably left behind at AA and AAA.
Well, you know, there's so much heat on Jim Leland early in the season when Todd Jones was struggling to make Joel Zamaya the closer. Well, he's not ready for that. You know, he's great to bring in certain circumstances, but you know what, it takes a special person like Todd Jones to be able to get by.
Jim Leland made it clear. He said, Joel Zamaya wasn't ready for it then, not ready for it now, wasn't ready for it. It's just silly. Todd Jones, our closer.
That's pretty good.
Let's get to Jason Carr. Jason Carr standing by with more. Jason, what's going on?
I'm just inside the gates. People are so excited. I've got little Anthony here. I got Sam over here with the ears.
Woo! Go Tigers!
She's got the hair, too. She's going to be Maglio for Halloween. But let me get down here with Anthony. Give me your best Tiger growl, Anthony.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what? Give us a claw action there. Yeah, he means business. Wouldn't you be afraid if you were a Cardinal? I know I would. Let's go back to you guys.
Yeah, I don't know. How do you paint a Cardinal like that? I don't think it would be nearly as attractive.
No, I guess you put one on each cheek.
I'm thinking we get Jason to dress up like that one of these days. He's always picking the other guys out in the crowd. We'll take a break, come right back. We are far from done as we count you down to Game 1 of the World Series. The Tigers and Cardinals, the only two left that can win a world championship in 2006, and it will start tonight.
Live coverage is brought to you by the Detroit Medical Center, home of the Detroit Tigers docks. Chevy drives the Motor City, and the new AT&T, your world delivered.
Hey, little man, I hope you're taking notes. School is in, and I'm the teacher. I'm about to take you to the home and drop you off.
Ooh, looks like somebody missed snack time.
Come on.
Get back to your senses with a new way to snack. McDonald's Snack Wrap. Tender all-white premium chicken breast meat with lettuce, cheddar jack cheese, and ranch sauce in a soft flour tortilla. Try it for just $1.29.
You ain't got nothing. You too small in your face. Wow.
Next, you with the snack wrap. You want some?
It's truck month at your Chevy dealer. Time to get a dependable, long-lasting Chevy truck and score some bonus cash. Check out the 2007 Chevy Trailblazer, backed by the GM 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty.
GM employee program participants get a low-mileage lease on this 07 Trailblazer for $179 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details.
Get in the game before October 31st.
Chevy drives the Motor City. Go get 'em, Tigers.
Whether you spend your workday making stock trades, making presentations, or making cookies, you're a Gardner White employee. Or at least you can save like one during our employee discount sale. This weekend, you pay exactly what our employees pay, not a penny more. Get our best living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, all at the absolute best employee discount. You get everything at the lowest prices ever offered to the general public. Save even more with no sales tax and free financing until 2009. This weekend, everyone gets our biggest savings at Gardner White's employee discount sale.
Are you asleep? Okay, pretend I'm not here. But we still need to talk about insuring some of your assets for retirement. An annuity from AXA Equitable could guarantee income for life, so you can sleep easy. But what do I know? I'm just the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Anyway, give him a call. For me.
Want guaranteed income for life? Call your financial advisor and ask for an annuity from AXA Equitable.
Fast is now affordable. With AT&T Yahoo high-speed internet, it's the fastest internet in Detroit for the price, as low as $14.99 a month. And with 4 speeds to choose from, AT&T always gives you the best speed for its price. This is the internet you've been waiting for. Go online for our best deals. The new AT&T, your world, delivered.
Live coverage is brought to you by your Metro Detroit Ford dealers. Think Ford first. National City. We want to make banking simpler. And wall-side windows. We can do that. We're the factory.
All right, take a look at the lineups for Game 1 of the World Series. Curtis Granderson in center field for the Tigers. No surprises there. Monroe, as we said, stays in the 2-hole. Polanco hitting great in that 3 spot. Ordonez clean up Guillen, Rodriguez, and then Sean Casey at DH. And nice to see him back in the lineup. And I guess, Dan, they're looking at it like this. They've got his bat in there, and they hope by the time he gets to St. Louis, where they won't have a DH, that he'll be able to be out there in the field.
It is great to see him in that lineup. And again, Ramon Santiago at shortstop, who's filled in so great for Carlos Guillen in that little shift. But let's just hope that Sean Casey does stay healthy and doesn't do anything to hurt that calf.
Nothing out of the ordinary in the St. Louis lineup. I guess the interesting thing is they've decided to go with Duncan as the DH.
You know what? I've always liked his swing. He came up with a big pinch hit home run in that NLCS, and he said he looks like he's a tough out, and plus he wants to impress Dad over there in the pitching coach for the Cardinals.
Absolutely. Well, back to Sean Casey for just a moment. Came in late in the season, but certainly very quickly impressed Tiger fans with the way he approaches things at the plate, and he's done a nice job for this team. Jennifer Hammond with a chance to talk with him.
All right, thanks very much, Dan. I'm with a man who's in high demand here, Sean Casey. Tonight, starting in the designated hitter spot. Talk about just your approach and your excitement to get back in the lineup.
Oh, just excited to be out here. I feel great. You know, the trainers really worked hard this week, and we've worked hard getting back, and I feel great just about being out here and being able to get back to the World Series.
Talk about going up against Anthony Reyes. I was talking to Curtis about it. You guys haven't seen a whole lot of him.
Well, he's a good pitcher. I mean, he's one of their best pitchers come up in their system, and hey, we're gonna have to swing the bats well, and then hopefully we can put some big innings together.
What was the drive to the ballpark like today, knowing that you were coming in for Game 1 of the World Series?
It's exciting. It's exciting, man. It's just what you play your whole life for, is to be in this situation. So it's really fun for us.
Did you see a lot of fans? I mean, did you notice that it was a very different
feel? Yeah, you can feel it. As soon as you start getting near the stadium, you feel the air, that it was a different air about it, and fans are excited.
When you get in that batter's box and you're just the DH, how does your approach change, if at all, when you're not in the field?
No, it doesn't change at all. I mean, I got to just stay loose in between the bats, and but just get in there. When I'm ready to get in the box, it's just the same old, same old.
Any advantage for you that you've played against the Cardinals quite a bit in your career?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, they've seen me a lot, and I've seen them a lot, so it's probably a wash.
All right, thanks very much, Sean Casey. Good luck today.
Thanks, Jen. Appreciate it.
All right, 291 career average versus the St. Louis Cardinals. Sean Casey, the designated hitter tonight. Everybody else is talking to him, too. It's busy down here. Dan, we're going to send it back to you guys over at Shelley's.
All right, Jen, thank you very much. Dan Petry, I'm going to leave you here for 1 second. I want to show everybody out there just how great this scene is. I want to walk you down Woodward right here and take a look out at just all of the people and the traffic and the nightlife out there as you take a look out past the Fox Theater at the Hockeytown Cafe. And really, I'll tell you what, this city has been alive since early this afternoon. Just folks wanted to be a part of this. And hey, this is what it's all about. This is where you know Detroit is alive and the fans are loving every minute of it. We saw it for the Super Bowl, and we're seeing it now for the World Series as well as Todd comes back around to the outside of Comerica Park. And let me tell you something. A lot of these people don't have tickets. They're just down here for the party and to have a good time. Right now, let's swing it to our Simon Shea-Kent, who is out and about checking things out and found somebody who's done something interesting to their car. Simon.
Hey guys, if you're coming down to the World Series, this is what I call traveling in style. Let me introduce you to my friend Sid Como, who pilots this Tiger Mobile. Is that what you call this?
Tiger Mobile, yes we do. We've done it up this year just for the Tigers because they made it to the series, and it's something we rent out also.
Okay, now Sid, tell me, how did you get it? What are some of the things you did to this to make it look like it does?
It took us all day yesterday, but we got it done for today. We did all the painting, then we had the graphics done, but we did it just for the series, just to show off.
And you got the big wheels, you got the bats. What are some of the other accommodations?
Well, it seats about 6 people, and it is for rent, and we just like showing it off.
Okay. Now, the big question, I'm wondering, what do the fans say when they see this and then when they jump in and they go for a ride with you?
They love it. They think it's the neatest vehicle on the road because it's the only one like it in Michigan.
Okay, there you have it. Thanks for talking with us. A 1987 converted town car limo, now the Tiger Mobile. You could definitely call this traveling in style. Take a look at the front there. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Simon, thank you very much. Looks like a young Murray Feldman, doesn't he?
Hopefully they'll be doing that same clip about 22 years later.
No, not 20. How about next year?
Right.
Let's take that nostalgic look back 1 year ago where the Tigers were as they close in on a second straight World Series championship. You know, we look at all the people that are collecting memorabilia, and they have so many things that they want to get a piece of. I mean, stores can't get it on the shelves quick enough. Anything that you have left from '84 that you've hung on to with sentimental value besides that ring?
You know what, I mean, the ring obviously is the big one, but you know, they give you a commemorative bat, which certainly is special, but I also have a nice frame piece that has a team photo of everybody in there, especially as people, like I mentioned earlier, start to decease and everything. It means a lot, with a ticket stub from every game, and that's very special.
No question about it. World champion right here, and the Tigers hope they're on their way to another one. Best of 7 series with the St. Louis Cardinals. You will see it right here on Fox 2 tonight. We're going to take a break, come right back, just a couple of minutes. The mayor's going to be by. Kwame Kilpatrick, we'll look forward to chatting with him. And there you see it, the scene outside of Comerica Park as the fans get ready. The lucky ones will be going in. The not so lucky ones, well, they'll be trying to find someplace to watch the game, I guess. All the bars are packed. I don't know where they're going.
Introducing Points from National City, the best banking rewards program. It gives you points for paying your bills online. What you get with your points is pretty much up to you. Points from National City. Sign up today. Introducing Points from National City, the best banking rewards program. It gives you points for so many of the things you do every day. What you get with your points is pretty much up to you. Points from National City. Sign up today.
Free to move about the country.
Are you still trying to decide who to vote for governor? Hear me out. Dick DeVos. He's turned businesses around, created a lot of jobs, raised 4 kids. They turned out great. Some better than others. He's done a lot for our community, a leader all his life, and he's got an independent streak. Nobody pulls his chain. Almost nobody.
I heard that.
So I'm Melissa DeVos, and I hope you'll vote for my dad.
In honor of our Tigers, Wallside, your other home team, hits a grand slam. Every sixth Wallside window, free. Buy 10, get 2, free. And when you place your order during this historic week, Wallside will give you an extra 10% right off your bill. Plus no interest for 2 years and no down payment. Now when it comes to saving on energy bills, you can hit one right out of the park. Call Wallside today, 1-800-521-7800.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Back here on our perch at Shelley's Chili Bar, just across the street from Comerica Park. Gentleman needs no introduction, the Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick, and we have been marveling at all of the folks down here since early this afternoon. And Mr. Mayor, I know a lot of them don't have tickets. They're just here for the party. This is great.
People are just hanging out. In 1984, I was down here with my grandfather, and we didn't go to any of the games. We just hung out outside. We applauded when the crowd applauded. We didn't know what was going on, but I mean, this is just fantastic to have so many people having a good time in Detroit.
Mr. Mayor, I was down here for the Tiger Rally that they had a couple weeks ago and got to hear you speak live. I wonder if you got your victory celebration speech already planned for the parade.
It's already mapped out. We're ready. We're ready to go on stage. And the Tigers do their thing. When our guys go out there and do the thing on the field, it's easy for me to get up and rile the crowd up. That's the easiest job I know how to do.
You were good.
Thanks, Dan. And you were good. 84. Dan missed all of this. He was inside the stadium. But
we were talking about that earlier. He said he had no idea all of this is going on. But you know what? This is so great for the city because we've talked before and we've had so many big events here. People say, Detroit did a good job with it. More than that, Detroit has thrived with this. This has been fantastic.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, the Super Bowl was the catalyst, really getting a lot of development done. We have 74 new businesses down here, 38 new restaurants, including Chelio's right here. And people are enjoying themselves. But now we get to reintroduce ourselves to the world during the World Series. The Tigers have helped us immensely all year, bring people downtown. Some people for the first time in 10, 15 years. And it's just great that so many people from around the country are here today to witness the rebirth of the city.
And obviously there's more on the way. We've got the World Series here. You got the PGA Championship at Oakland Hills, then the Final Four coming as well. There's a lot happening, and I'd imagine now it's easy for you to get in the door, whereas before it may not have been.
Yeah, when we first went out, when I was my first time going out to Vegas to try to talk to some people about coming to Detroit, I mean, it was like, no way. But after the Super Bowl, I mean, it's been incredible, the national trade shows, the national sporting events that actually are asking us to bid, which is a different position for Detroit to be in, but we love it.
What does a night like this mean when so many people who maybe haven't been down here for a while are just coming down, and like I said, they don't have tickets necessarily?
You have people that live 5 miles away, 10 miles away that haven't been to Detroit in 10 years. And this is a great night. I just met a couple downstairs who live in Royal Oak. I mean, how close is Royal Oak? And they haven't been downtown Detroit in 10 to 15 years. So what it says is that we can partner, we can share this region, can grow together, and we can all have a good time in one another's city together.
Now, I know you're a good football player, but now be honest. Be honest. What kind of baseball player were you?
I was pretty good. I played baseball from age 6 all the way to 14. I went out for the team at Cass Tech. The guy threw one pitch, Dan. It was about 90 miles an hour. I gently handed the bat back to the coach and said, hey, I just hit people. I don't want to do this anymore.
So it wasn't even a curveball. It was a fastball.
It was a fastball right down the pipe. The ball hummed in a way I never heard it before. And I think it moved a little. And I said, you know what? I'll just put on helmets and hit people.
The great thing is, since then, and since 1984, things have changed. You got tickets tonight, right?
I got tickets tonight. I was just saying my grandfather's no longer with us, but I mean, in 1984, I was outside the stadium begging people for their stubs. People that look, can we have your stub? And this year, I'm going to the stadium, I'm going to go on the field, shake a few players' hands. What a country.
You know what? And you know what? The great thing is, and this is one thing we've touched on throughout this show, when you go in there tonight, one of the great things about baseball, you'll think your grandfather tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I've been thinking about him all week. I mean, he was a Tigers fan, 40-year season ticket holder to Tiger Stadium. He loved you guys. As a matter of fact, I had to sit down and listen painstakingly to the games at 8, 9 years old. I couldn't listen to music. If the Tigers were on, everybody had to shut up, sit down, and listen to the Tigers. And you were one of his favorite, man. When you came in the game, you said, oh, we got it done now.
Oh, he probably didn't go to too many then.
Yeah, we got Petry coming in. We got it done now.
Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for your time. Have a great time tonight, and this city's got a great smile on its face.
Hey, thanks a lot. This is great. This is great for all of us.
Bring him luck.
Hey,
all right, we will take a break, come right back. Thanks to the mayor for stopping by, and man, I'll tell you what, a lot of folks claiming they might have had tickets, they don't. They're just having a good time tonight, and they're here in the city of Detroit.
Have you had a good day lately? Did you wake up to a smile? Come on, have a seat and stir a little while. It's a brand new morning, there's a lot that you should know. It's a good day, so let it show. Oh, good day, have you had a good day lately? Good day, have you had a good day lately?
The 2007 Chevy Impala gets an EPA estimated 31 miles per gallon highway, and it's backed by the GM 100,000-mile warranty. Learn more. Go to Yahoo and click Autos. Qualified GM employee program participants get a low mileage lease on this 07 Impala for around $179 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. Chevy drives the Motor City. See your Detroit area Chevy dealer today.
At National City, we want to make banking simple. When your banking is simplified, you have more time to do what you really want. So, what's not to like?
Fast is now affordable. With AT&T Yahoo high-speed internet, it's the fastest internet in Detroit for the price. As low as $14.99 a month. And with 4 speeds to choose from, AT&T always gives you the best speed for its price. This is the internet you've been waiting for. Go online for our best deals. The new AT&T, your world, delivered.
Maybe you want a sedan designed for the driver. Or one that's also beautiful on the inside. Or one that can outrun the price of gas. There's a way to have all three. Introducing the 2007 Saturn Aura midsize sedan. Lease the new 2007 Saturn Aura XE for around $257 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for lease details.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Here we are at Chelly's Chili Bar, and the moment is approaching. Game one not far off. The Tigers getting set to go. As you get closer to that first pitch, do the players feel it more, or is it just kind of a constant hum of butterflies?
You know, I remember Alan Trammell saying that he got butterflies before every game, and he stood out there and couldn't wait for the first ball to be hit to him. You know, some guys got to stand there for a while, but they want to have that ball hurry up and hit to them so they can get it out of their system.
Speaking of Tram for just a second, how nice is it that he will be back tomorrow and taking part in the pregame ceremony?
I think it's wonderful. You know, I don't think you need to have everybody paraded out there, but certainly Alan Trammell, love to hear that Sparky Anderson's going to be throwing out one of the ceremonial first pitches, and that may even bring a tear to my eye.
Well, and I think the key thing is for Tram, I think honestly, Dan, tomorrow night when he goes out there and that crowd stands as one and cheers for him, the page will have turned. You know, nobody, I don't think, it will reflect much longer on what did or didn't happen with Tram as manager, and there's a lot that goes into that. That's not all on him. But I think tomorrow night everybody turns the page.
They will, and I'm sure the players, you know, they'll have shots of them all clapping. I'm sure there's going to be some hugs around. And you know what? Alan Trammell, I think, has now finally turned the page, too, because he would have said no if he didn't really want to be here.
Well, I think we're all glad that he did. Meanwhile, inside, our Woody Woodriffe and Jennifer Hammond have been talking to a lot of folks. Let's check in with Woody.
Thanks a lot, Dan. Down here on the field with Peter Gammons. And Peter, let's talk about this matchup for a minute. I'm scratching my head with two rookies starting this game. Are you doing the same?
Well, I mean, first of all, Justin Verlander's been so great. It's not, I kind of forget that he's a rookie in some ways. But it tells you a little bit about the state of baseball. I mean, the Mets had no idea. They pitched a guy, you know, who could win a game in Game 7 of the NLCS. And you come here and they're going with the kid. They're going with Reyes instead of Jason Marquis, and What it tells me is I wish I were Barry Zito or Jason Schmidt going out on the market this winter, because anybody who's a free agent pitcher with all the incredible money there is in baseball today is going to get very rich.
You know, everybody talks about momentum, and it starts from the first game. Could La Russa be making almost a bad mistake before even the first pitch starts with this kind of decision instead of Marquis, who has World Series experience?
Well, I mean, Marquis has won 14 games and thrown 200 innings 3 straight years, but he hasn't pitched well at the end, and Tony's rolling the dice with Reyes. I think all Tony has to do is get through this game and then let that pitching staff take over. And they did Suppan, Weaver, Carpenter. I mean, they shut down the best lineup in the National League. Maybe, after the Yankees and Indians, the best lineup in baseball. So, they can go out there and roll 4 good games out of 7. Then they have a chance to win.
Let's talk about what Jim Leyland's facing. It seems every move he makes turns to gold. I mean, can he even make a mistake here?
Well, he's such a good manager. I mean, he understands his personnel so well. But he's got really good pitching. I mean, they've had great pitching almost all year. They've had very good starting pitching, and that's the name of the game. I mean, he's used it really well. He's used his bullpen brilliantly. He and Tony La Russa are absolute master handlers of bullpens, and I mean, to me, there's no manager in baseball that's better at making players accountable for themselves than Jim Leyland, and I think that's one of the reasons he's been so successful everywhere he's gone.
How do you think the time off will affect the Tiger bats? I mean, I know all the injuries heal and the legs get better and all that, but as far as really getting into game hitting and seeing the timing again, that might take a couple of turns through the order, Mike.
It could, because I thought one of the things the Tigers did best against the Yankees and against Oakland was have much better quality at bats. I mean, they had only the third worst on-base percentage in the league in the regular season. They had great at bats in those 2 series. You get out here, you get a little anxious. It's the World Series. It might take them a little time to get their feet on the ground.
I think everybody's a little anxious. Thanks a lot for talking to me. I appreciate it. Peter Gammon's down here on the field. Dan, back to you.
All right, Woody, thank you very much. And nice just to see Peter back and working again after the health scare that he had this summer. One of the guys that I think makes baseball enjoyable. There's certain guys in the media that just talk to you and bring it to you straight, and Peter Gammons is one of those guys. Not much as a player, you like talking to those guys.
You know, it's very well said, because I remember, when I was playing, they used to call him the commissioner, and all the players respected him, and they still do.
Absolutely. We will take a break, come right back. Much more to come. We will hand you off to the network at 7:30. Until then, take a look at downtown Detroit tonight. And folks are down here having a great time as they get set for the World Series. It's been 22 years. They had plenty of time to plan for this. Let's enjoy it.
Watch full episodes of your favorite Fox shows for free. MyFoxDetroit.com.
Saab was founded by 16 aircraft engineers, and their spirit lives on in the 97X, Saab's first SUV. Once you build jets, you don't build just another SUV. Saab, born from jets. Land a great lease on a Saab 97X 4.2i SUV.
Fast is now affordable. With AT&T Yahoo high-speed internet, it's the fastest internet in Detroit for the price, as low as $14.99 a month. And with 4 speeds to choose from, AT&T always gives you the best speed for its price. This is the internet you've been waiting for. Go online for our best deals. The new AT&T, your world, delivered.
We're more than just another health insurance company. Because 67 years ago, we made a commitment to the people of Michigan. A commitment that has never changed and never will. Because we believe that every man, woman, and child has a right to quality health care. Because we accept everyone, regardless of medical history, and we will never, ever drop you for health reasons. Because we're Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, a nonprofit since 1939. Because Michigan is our home.
Come to Old Country Buffet for great steakhouse classics, like garlic mushroom steak, peppercorn steak, rotisserie-style chicken, plus your favorite steakhouse appetizers and more for one low price. Steakhouse Classics, Thursday through Saturday nights at Old Country Buffet.
It's opening week at the Palace. See the Pistons on November 1st and November 4th.
Well, one of the things we've talked about as the Tigers get set for this game is the fact that their bullpen has been well rested. And more than well rested, Joel Zumaya, who obviously had some physical problems during the Oakland series. Well, now he's back and he's looking good. Now Jennifer Hammond had a chance to talk with him.
Thanks, Dan. On the field with Joel Zumaya. And Joel, I've got to imagine, I mean, it's exciting enough for the fans and the media and the people here just coming out onto the field. How are your emotions right now?
Oh, well, my emotions are practically the same. You know, I'm trying to stay as calm as I can. You know, I'm going to take that walk down to the bullpen today. You know, I know the crowd's going to be roaring and everything, but I'm just going to wait for that phone call. And when it comes in, you know, hopefully I'm on that mound tonight and getting the opportunity to win a game.
All right, how about last night, though, when you're laying in bed and thinking, okay, tomorrow's game 1 of the World Series at Comerica Park, la-di-da. How does that go?
Well, I didn't sleep at all last night. I got to bed around 4 o'clock in the morning. I was up until 3:30 just thinking about it. It finally had hit me, you know, wow, I'm going to the World Series, tomorrow's game 1. But, you know, I slept it off. I woke up today and I just shot straight to the field, and I've been here since 1. So.
I know one of the things that the fans and the media and probably your teammates love the most about you, and I'm sure Jim Leland loves it too, you love to go after everybody you face, no matter who it is, no matter what their batting average is. What about maybe a scenario in your mind of going up against Albert Pujols?
Absolutely. You know, if I get to face Albert, I know there's going to be a lot of cameras being flashed tonight. I'm not going to back down. Albert knows that too. He knows I have a great fastball, and you know, I'll tell him right now, if he's listening, I'm going to go right after him. He's going to get a fastball. He's going to see a fastball. And, you know, hopefully, you know, if he gets me, I tip my hat. If I get him, you know, move on to the next batter.
Is it fun for you guys, you and Grilly and Walker and Todd, all the guys out in the bullpen, to kind of sit and look around and soak in the atmosphere? You're going to hear Bob Seger sing and see the fighter jets go over, just to kind of really appreciate this moment and how it ranks in your baseball life.
I think that's what the pregame is for. We're going to come out, you know, stand on the line, feel the, you know, emotions go off, and then I think right after that's all over with, when we're ready to play, when that first player says, hey, game on, you know, play ball, we're going to be ready, and everybody's going to stay set and focused. So.
And that arm feels good.
Absolutely, my arm feels great.
We're so happy to hear it. Joel Zumaya, thank you so much for your time on a big, big day. We're going to send it back to you. Joel Zumaya, the Tigers flamethrower, getting set for game 1 of the World Series.
All right, Jen, thank you very much. And Joel Zumaya saying he didn't get to sleep till 4 o'clock last night, didn't get much sleep. You know, we've talked about the nerves going in, but I would imagine once you get to the point where you're playing the game, then you're able to bring it back down, and it is a baseball game again.
You're right. You know, it's what they're paid for to do, and they've been playing the game since they probably, you know, 3 years old, so they certainly feel very comfortable in doing it. I wouldn't be surprised if Jim Leland tries to get him into a game just as soon as possible so he doesn't sit down there and let those nerves continue to grow.
Very quickly, they talked about the possible matchup between he and Pujols. One thing to keep an eye on, we'll see if you agree, if somebody behind Pujols doesn't start hitting it, it'll be Edmonds tonight, they won't be pitching to him.
Probably not. You know, we saw him, you know, go right after Frank Thomas, but in the one guy, that's the guy that you don't want to have hurt you. And it might be a better matchup seeing Zumaya against Pujols than Todd Jones.
We will see what happens. Very interesting. Well, if you look beyond Comerica Park, obviously you have Ford Field, and in there early last February, the Pittsburgh Steelers won the Super Bowl championship, and Jerome Bettis, obviously from Detroit, was a big part of that. He was in town this week for the Lions' annual Courage House banquet, and he talked with our Jennifer Hammond about these old Tigers.
Growing up as a kid here, you know, rooting the Tigers on, and now to see him in the World Series, it's just, it's amazing. I'm just so happy for the fans and for the city and for those players. They went through a lot.
You know what it takes to win a championship, obviously, having just done it in Pittsburgh. I mean, talk a little bit about the chemistry thing. I think it's kind of just a cliche thing people throw out there, but it really is an important function of getting a team to play together and really sacrifice for the guy lining up next to you, isn't it?
It really is, and that chemistry starts with belief. And you know, Coach Leland has stressed that, to believe that you can be a champion, and I really believe that he's done a great job in instilling that in those players, and they go out every game believing that they can win, and that's the hardest part sometimes, is to believe that you can actually win. And I really believe now that they understand that, you know, they have a great opportunity ahead of them, and they're gonna play their hearts out.
All right, Jerome Bettis right there, a very proud Detroiter as he gets set to root the Tigers on tonight. We'll take a break, come right back. Stay with us.
Live coverage is brought to you by the Detroit Medical Center, home of the Detroit Tigers docks. Chevy drives the Motor City, and the new AT&T, your world delivered.
It's truck month at your Chevy dealer. Time to take the sting out of high gas prices and score some bonus cash. Check out Chevy's 07 full-size SUVs. They all can get 20 or more EPA estimated highway miles per gallon.
GM Employee Program participants get a low-mileage lease on this 07 Tahoe for $319 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details.
Get in the game before October 31st.
Chevy drives the Motor City. Go get 'em, Tigers.
Hey, little man, I hope you're taking notes. School is in, and I'm the teacher. I'm about to take you to the hole and drop you off.
Ooh, looks like somebody missed snack time.
Come on.
Get back to your senses with a new way to snack. McDonald's Snack Wrap. Tender all-white premium chicken breast meat with lettuce, cheddar jack cheese, and ranch sauce in a soft flour tortilla. Try it for just $1.29.
You ain't got nothing. You too small in your face. Whoa.
Next, you with the snack wrap. You want some?
Fast is now affordable. With AT&T Yahoo high-speed internet, it's the fastest internet in Detroit for the price, as low as $14.99 a month. And with 4 speeds to choose from, AT&T always gives you the best speed for its price. This is the internet you've been waiting for. Go online for our best deals. The new AT&T, your world, delivered.
Whether you spend your workday making stock trades, making presentations, or making cookies, you're a Gardner White employee. Or at least you can save like one during our employee discount sale. This weekend, you pay exactly what our employees pay, not a penny more. Get our best living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, all at the absolute best employee discount. You get everything at the lowest prices ever offered to the general public. Save even more with no sales tax and free financing until 2009. This weekend, everyone gets our biggest savings at Gardner White's employee discount sale.
Live coverage is brought to you by your Metro Detroit Ford dealers. Think Ford first. National City. We want to make banking simpler. And wall-side windows. We can do that. We're the factory.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are approaching game time. St. Louis, Detroit, the Tigers. There's their starting lineup. No major surprises. Casey, the DH. Any advantage as St. Louis comes over and uses the DH, and then Detroit goes to, obviously, St. Louis and won't get to use it? Does either side get an edge there?
Well, just with the DH, you know, the American League pitchers certainly see a lineup full of 9 hitters all the time, where the National League guys are used to only 8 and then having that pitcher as maybe an easy out. So I would say that the advantage goes to the American League in the American League ballpark.
Well, and both these managers have obviously managed in both leagues, so the difference in style and changes and switches that you have to do, that won't be an edge for anybody. Quick thoughts on Justin Verlander. Goes out there tonight starting game 1 of the World Series.
Just try to settle in just as quickly as he can. Like we were talking about nerves, that first pitch. Obviously, if it's a strike, it certainly settles you down in a hurry. You don't want to stand out there going ball 2, ball 3, and hopefully walk the guy like that. You don't want to do that. So as soon as he can settle in, the better for him.
Well, we appreciate you settling in and watching us today, and we're going to be with you every step of the way. Don't forget, tonight, after the ball game, we will be right back here to wrap things up for you and go back over game 1, look ahead to game 2. Jennifer Hammond, Woody Woodriffe will both be inside as well. So we'll be with you. We appreciate you watching, and game 1 is coming up. Justin Verlander, Anthony Reyes. The World Series gets underway, and it'll happen right here on Fox. Don't forget, after the game, we'll be back. Don't forget, tomorrow night after the game, we'll be sitting right here, and then throughout the week when it shifts to St. Louis. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The World Series is back, and it's coming your way right now.
Another reason to use MyFoxDetroit.com. Fox really knows Hollywood. Now you will too. What's hot, who's not, and everything in between. Now working for you on the web. MyFoxDetroit.com.
You've seen how they play.
Oh! Albert!
Now see how they live.
Let's go inside.
Visit attblueroom.com/sports for exclusive access into your favorite players' worlds.
Introducing Points from National City, the best banking rewards program. It gives you points for paying your bills online. What you get with your points is pretty much up to you. Points from National City. Sign up today. Introducing Points from National City, the best banking rewards program. It gives you points for so many of the things you do every day. What you get with your points is pretty much up to you. Points from National City. Sign up today.
Ven, rápido. Desátame de una vez. ¿Dónde has estado? Te he estado esperando por más de una hora. Al menos me hubieras llamado.
Jimmy Jones.
Se están comportando como demonios.
Jimmy
Estoy
Jones,
enloqueciendo.
ayúdame, por favor.
¿Cómo quieres que
¡Pronto!
¡Jimmy Jones!
Jimmy Jones, the world greatest sandwich delivery.
The all-new Mazda CX-7 has got the press making a lot of noise. And it all started with a whisper. The turbocharged, direct-injected 2007 Mazda CX-7 Sport starts at $24,345. Or get a special introductory $165 a month lease for 24 months with $2,760 due at S-Plan lease signing. The SUV you never saw coming has arrived.
I'm Debbie Stabenow, and I approve this message.
Mike Bouchard's attacks against Debbie Stabenow? False. Stabenow voted to toughen our borders. Social Security for illegal immigrants? Never. And Stabenow voted no on the Bush guest worker bill that threatened Michigan jobs. Mike Bouchard? He was paid $250,000 as director of an insurance company that outsourced jobs to China and India. Voting with Bush, outsourcing jobs. Michigan just can't afford Mike Bouchard.
You've seen how they play.
There we go. Oh, big puppy.
Now see how they live.
What's up, yo? This is David Ortiz.
Visit attblueroom.com/sports for exclusive access into your favorite players' worlds.
Full hour of Cops and America's Most Wanted will return Saturday, November 4th with all new episodes. Now, stay tuned for a Fox Sports presentation.
The Chevy World Series pregame show on Fox is sponsored by Chevy, baseball's #1 fan, Chevy, an American Revolution.
All right, guys, time to fess up. We're obsessive. How many times have you guys sat around with your buddies and tried to determine who would win in a fight, Laverne or Shirley? Or how about that time you got caught betting on your little sister's dance recital? But you know what really sends us over the edge? Sports. I once staged a fantasy doubleheader between the 1918 Red Sox and the 2004 Red Sox. By the way, the Sox won.
Okay, what do you think? Best game won ever? Are you kidding, man? 1955, man. Brooklyn's only World Series title game. This thing started off with a bang. Nowhere near suspenseful as 1988 Oakland A's versus the Dodgers.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
You know what a favorite game me and my friends love to play is? What if? What if Randy Johnson were only 2 feet tall? What if drinking beer made you smarter? It's a fun game. Try it for yourself.
What if Bobby Thompson had swung the bat a split second later?
Dodgers would have won the pennant. The Dodgers would have won the pennant.
Would they still call it the shot heard around the world?
Well,
as long as we're talking what ifs, let's cut to the chase. Bill Buckner, 86.
It is a fair ball. It's by Buckner.
What if he would have fielded the ball? Would that have ended the curse of the Bambino? And what if they hadn't invented baseball? What would our national pastime be?
That's easy.
Okay, eyes back on me. Things are about to get hectic, but it just goes to prove we're obsessed. Obsessed with tight skirts, fast cars, and double cheeseburgers. Sports and more sports. We'll do anything to impress some broad. Not that it ever works.
I'm talking all-time series MVP.
That's simple. Don Larson. See, he pitched a perfect game for the Yankees in 1957.
Here comes the pitch. Strike three. A no-hitter, a perfect game for Don Larson.
Yeah, but what about Reggie Jackson in '77?
That's going to be gone. Reggie Jackson is in his third home run of the game.
Home runs in the 4th, 5th, and 7th inning? That's what you call unbelievable.
Actually, it was the 4th, 5th, and 8th innings. And Larson's perfect game was in 1956, not 57. One hell of a show.
Steve Reich! This is baseball. This is the time of year when it's okay to get a little nutty. Hey, what are we waiting for? This is the World Series 2006. History is about to be made and we're living it. So as the man says, play ball!
Our thanks to Artie Lang at Jerry Stiller, for taking the time, and time is in excess in this city of late. It has been 7 days since it celebrated an American League pennant with the Detroit Tigers, and in reality, baseball in this city is going on a couple decades rest. Nothing the St. Louis Cardinals can possibly relate to. This is their second World Series in 3 years. Of course, they only made their travel plans 48 hours ago. What a postseason. What a journey. Worth the travel to sports' grandest stage as we welcome you to Game 1 of the World Series. 51 degrees. I'm Jeannie Zelasco, joined again by Kevin Kennedy.
Hi, Jeannie.
And, of course, the Desert Boy, who's out here shaking. Come on, my man. It's not so bad.
Jeannie, Kevin, I always expected to go to a World Series, but let's just say I didn't expect to be here with you guys.
Well, we need to get you here, I guess. All right, the Tigers and Cardinals, they've done this before twice, 1934, 1968, both 7-game series. This should be fun.
Well, the irony of it is, Jeannie, if you believe in stats only, you've missed the boat, because these two teams have the worst record in Major League Baseball the last 50 games. The Tigers, number 1, the Cardinals, number 2. But you know what? The Tigers earned the right to be here by playing 700 ball for 4 months. So what? They faltered a little bit, ended up winning the wild card. They played well in the postseason when they have to. The St. Louis Cardinals, the same exact thing. They got healthy at the right time. And let's face it, their game plan pitching against the Mets, they executed well. Kevin, let me tell you something. This atmosphere here in Detroit is like nothing I've ever seen. They started partying when they beat the Yankees, and they have not stopped since. I gave it a little test drive. I gave the town a test drive last night. Watch out. And it is everything that everyone, all the fans at home see in this ballpark. This town's going crazy right now. It's exciting.
All right, manager Tony La Russa and, of course, Jimmy Leland have spoken daily throughout the playoffs. In fact, they've spoken regularly for almost 2 decades. The friendship that began easily on the diamond will make the next 10 days a little bit difficult, Kevin.
You talk about best friends in baseball and in life. Tony La Russa and Jimmy Leland go back to 1983, actually 82, but 83 is when they won the American League West. Tony La Russa was the manager for those 4 years in Chicago. Guess who he hired away from the Tiger organization? It was Jimmy Leland as his third base coach. And after Jimmy Leland resigned a few years ago from Colorado, guess who hired him in St. Louis to work for him for the last 6 years? Tony La Russa, again, hired Jimmy Leland. Yeah, you know what, Kevin? 2 guys I want to go to Vegas with right now, Tony La Russa and Jim Leland. These guys are rolling 7-11. Specifically, Tony La Russa in that series against the Mets. He pinch hits Chris Duncan against Feliciano. I'm sitting at home on my couch going, Tony, what are you doing? That's left on left. Feliciano mows down left-handed hitters. But you know what? Chris Duncan came through with a huge home run. A couple nights later, Randy Flores is on the mound against David Wright. I'm thinking to myself again, Tony, get Flores out of the game. He leaves him in the game, and sure enough, he mows down Wright, and then he ends up getting Sean Green.
All right, how about the lineup change? Moving his catcher around, and we remember this. Yadier Molina just 2 nights ago. He's the Chevrolet player of the game from Game 7 of the NLCS. You can log on to worldseries.com/Fox Sports and vote for most dependable player of the postseason. Chance to win the dependable Silverado.
And Eric, what you're talking about, managers go on feel sometimes. Yadier Molina, of course, you're looking at the defensive numbers here. The top 2 catchers throwing in baseball. Pudge number 1, Yadier number 2. Offensively, of course, you expect Pudge Rodriguez to get hit, but Yadier Molina came up with a big hit. Tony put him in the 7th spot, just on a field, put Belliard in the 8th spot, and guess who gets a game-winning home run? Yadier Molina. You know what, Kevin? This postseason, 333, 2 homers, 2 doubles, 7 runs driven in for Yadier Molina. You know what? When they're not getting production out of their big guns, outlaw Scott Rowland, you can really count on a Yadier Molina. You're getting production where you didn't expect production from. So that's just a huge boost for the Cardinals, Jeannie.
All right, by the time this is done, baseball will crown its 7th different champion in 7 years. Who will it be? And we'll hear from the legendary Ernie Harwell as this once lost franchise gets a shot at a world title and a shot to save the city.
I think it's already done wonderful things for the city. The people have come together. They've come out all season long. They've been very supportive. They've waited a long time. And this is, you know, to be honest with you, it's worked for us. It's a party for them.
Eric, a few of your friends that you caught up with last night, the party is on here. They're ready.
The dream is still alive. Someday it will come true. And this country, it belongs to folks like me and you. So let the voice of freedom